All right. So let me see something. How do I save this?
Oh shit, gotta mute my shit.
Well, we'll have to wait to start the episode like that. Oh, there it is. Never mind. They pull it up on my screen now when like they do the stream. Uh, Cold opening. Yeah, this is the part where I just kind of say a bunch of things and yeah, yeah. Right, fellas?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, why is Facebook different like everywhere you go?
All the updates, baby.
It's not even showing up that I'm live on my own phone.
It shows it on my top left. It says live on Facebook.
Does it?
Yeah.
I guess we are live. We probably are. There we are.
Yeah, that's what that notification was I got. We live.
That's what it was? That was me?
Yeah, we live.
Oh, we live. Oh. Let me get a certain viewer. Let me share this around real quick. Only to the relevant pages, though, for it. Not going to share everywhere. You don't have to share everywhere, but we always encourage you to share everywhere. There we go. All right. Excellent. Welcome to tonight's episode, everybody. I'm your host, Joey Blaze. We are live from our usual location. Well, not our usual location. I'm at my office. Ross Collins, he's at the studio. Jerome Rousseau, he is live over at his place. So, fellas, how was your weekend?
Productive.
We feel that. What a weekend it was down in Ocean City. Great time down there. Always glad to see a 9-man event live. Always glad to cover one. It's been a while since we had a DMV tournament. A year and a half ago was the last one. That was back at Capital Classic. Want to begin it by giving a couple shout outs. First off, shout out some of the nice flags they had on display. Got 2 of them from the XFL stand Dimitri Thompson has set up. Purchased those 2 bad boys. They're going to be the Ocean City flag, as you can see in the middle here, the yellow 9-man flag to go along with a Sev flag. Rest in peace, Sev. This would have been his 41st birthday weekend this past weekend. Big shout out to everybody who helped put this tournament together. I felt like this was a good way to get us back on track to the circuit again. Really looking forward to seeing the rest of the year, especially when we conglomerate in about 6 weeks for the Atlantic City tournament. That's going to be June 5th and 6th. We'll have more on that later. First, gentlemen, though, let's get started by talking about what went down on Saturday in the A bracket at Ocean City. Let me pull the scores back up again. First game of the day was No Mercy versus I want to say Strong Island Bulldogs. Yeah, Strong Island Bulldogs, No Mercy was first game of the day. Monet Anderson made her return to live in that game. We were really happy to see her again. Big shout out to Monet for returning this weekend. Happy to see her back on the 9-man scene. Shout out as well to Ben Pennington. He went live, took a lot of photos, did a lot of work. Really happy to see both of them back out there again. Shout out overall to the 9-man media shooters team, as well as you, Ross Collins, and of course Keith Giles and Maddox Collins for the coverage we had all weekend. There's a lot of great work. Let's get to the scores and recap real quick. Starting on Saturday with Bulldogs No Mercy, 21-13 was the final there. That game seemed very, very competitive for the most part. That seemed like a very competitive game, very close game. I didn't get a chance to cover it. Monet had it. No Mercy, first time that the group has come together for a circuit game. I felt like they measured up and competed well enough against Strong Island. Didn't get the win, though, but it's a tough draw to come out of A right off the bat with that full roster against the Strong Island Bulldogs team, who had the beginning of what was an excellent run this past weekend. Second game over in the A bracket that went down was Rollers 23, No Mercy 14. Another game Monet had. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I can't really comment on much on it. Sorry for the episode. Like I said, I've caught it on the road. I got in around 5 today. So tonight's episode is going to be a little bit improvised. We're going real top of my head. So firing away, shooting from the hip, keep going. Dream jumped into A. They made their debut in it. They started out with the Bulldogs losing 26-6 in that Saturday game, and followed it up afterwards with a 24-6 loss to Rollers. Tough start for Dream early on, but as we would see on Sunday, a dream almost came true for this squad. The last 3 games of the day, these 3 I did do, so I can comment on these. The Misfits beat the Elite Rebels 41-20. That game, Misfits offense, wow. They were on fire in that game. Talk about a team who just clicked as soon as that game started. They were ready to go. They were locked and loaded. They torched that Rebel secondary. That offense was awesome. And going into that Lions game, I was kind of wondering, could this Misfits team make a run? They got something going here. And against the Lions, let me tell you, that first game on Saturday was very close for the first 2.5 quarters. Basically, in my opinion, looking at that game, Misfits had something going early on. It's just the offense couldn't move. They couldn't score. Jeff Costa and company, they moved the ball very well, very efficiently down the field. They were not skipping a beat. Misfits defense played well enough early on, but just that just could not get enough stops. They couldn't score either. 3 pick sixes as they've tried to keep catching up toward the end. 2 came in the fourth quarter. That led to the 34-0 loss there. But as we would see in day 2, that was not a true measurement of how this team is. We saw a lot more out of a lot of these DMV teams come day 2. And that's going to be where I'm going to look towards you a little bit, Ross. Day 2, of course, you had Dream on Sunday morning against the Strong Island Bulldogs. Yeah. I know I'm going a little out of order, but that's first that came to mind. Your impressions of watching that game and watching this Dream team, who I felt like came together really well this weekend.
Yeah, they did. I felt like they were just missing a couple pieces on offense. Just a couple things here and there offensively would have really said their defense was good. They were holding the Bulldogs for a long time. They were in that game the whole time pretty much. So, yeah, just a couple pieces missing from Dream. I think they'll be all right. They look like a good team, though. They had pieces. Just that one missing thing, I think. Like a I don't know. They'll figure it out. I know they just moved into A, so. But Bulldogs, they did their thing.
You got a final on that one. It was 14-8 in the third when I was watching.
Pretty sure that's what it ended up being. I think it 14-8.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. 14-8. Yeah, it's going to be a very tight competitive game. Yeah. They came out a lot better on day 2. I think once they got that exposure and taste of what day 1 was all about, they knew how to bounce back on day 2 and face 2 teams and face a team in the Bulldogs who they already had drawn that day before. We talk about it sometimes. Saturday does give a false sense of security when it comes to facing teams. You might get a win on a team Saturday, and then coming to Sunday might be same business as usual. I think Dream played up more so than Strong Island played down. I think after Saturday, they realized what they had to do, and they came together as a unit, which allowed them to compete. And ultimately, they fell short. But in the end, I think they made a pretty big statement this weekend that shows that this Dream team is not going to go away.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ross? Because we're gonna ask about almost all of the teams. Do you think Dream should stay at A after this tournament, or do you think that they're better off as a high B team?
No, they should stick with A.
You think so?
Yeah, hell yeah. You're in there now. You did good. I mean, they did good. Why not stick with that? Try to stick it out. Like I said, find those couple key pieces that they may be missing to really set the tone for them in the A and go from there. Yeah, no, they should definitely stay in there, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, they've been doing excellent. Showing up in that tournament. A lot of teams gave them compliments back at nationals. That was something. They had a lot of talent. They were just inexperienced. I think now that they've gotten that A circuit experience, they can now take that and build on with it. They'll be at Atlantic City playing in A. We saw that on the list of teams a few weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do there. The actual first game you did, Ross, was Misfits No Mercy. I believe that ended up at 14-6.
Yes.
Okay, 14-6. I like how Ross the one who covered the game and Jerome's the one who answered. I like that.
I'm all about the analytics, baby.
I know you are, Jerome. I know.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'll leave the numbers up to you guys. I definitely can't remember final scores from all the games I covered this weekend. But
understandable. Well, do you give us a recap of what went down though between Misfits and No Mercy?
That was a good game too. It was a defensive battle back and forth for a while. I mean, a couple big plays and stuff like that. You could tell the field was a little sloppy. Took a little while to get going for both squads. Really, it was a good game. I really enjoyed that game. You know the Misfits, man. They're crazy. They're named the Misfits for a reason, as we all know, especially us. I've been around those guys forever. A bunch of Warriors on that team. Yeah, that was cool. And then you got from the other side. Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool game to cover.
It's interesting to think. No Mercy is a team that for a while with the Scorpions and how much they've dominated the area. You would think this was the team going into A that from the DMV would stand out the most, but to me, the Misfits showed a lot this past weekend.
Yeah.
That team really, really came into its own. We were wondering how they would look coming into this tournament. You know, a lot of their guys had it. Some of their guys had a lot of their guys for the most part had A experience on that end with Boone, Cannon, of course, Tay, Lurie had been on A with Mayhem back in the day. Some of them, most of them weren't. Tyler, of course, was experienced in A back in the day. But the mixture of guys old and new to that A bracket experience, I felt like they came together extremely well as a unit, and they definitely looked like a solid A team 100%. And the run they made this weekend, I believe, was absolutely impressive. Another team, though, that made a really good run and a result that I skipped over their previous pool play game. I went straight to it. The Elite Rebels. What a run they had this weekend. We go back to the Misfits game, rough start, 41-20. I sat there on the field and, I walked up to TJ. I was walking up to him as I was walking out of the area. And I said to him, y'all sure about this A thing? and TJ looks at me. He says, yeah. I said, okay. I said, all right. I walked off. And in my mind, I really thought that Lions were going to give it to the Rebels the same way the Misfits did. I felt like I just watched the Lions destroy the Misfits overall by score. But this Elite Rebels team, they almost knocked off the Lions on Saturday. 35-34 was the final of that game. Came down to the final play. TJ Holston and them, they got down to the end zone. They scored. They went for two. They failed to get it. As a result, they just fell short. And I tell you, I wish I got that one. I think the Lions might have got it on their drone, though. So I'd like to see that footage if possible. That looked like a really awesome game. And I sat there reading that result, and I was like, okay, Rebels got something. And
Did they go for two to win it? Or they just
went for two for the win. Two for the win.
But they don't tie it, so they didn't want to tie it?
Well, it was the end of the game. It's pool play. Pool play with no overtime.
Take the tie. Nah.
You rather go for a tie?
Yeah. Because it's pool play. And because a tie is better than a loss. So I'd rather go for the tie on pool play. Now, if you asking me Sunday, yeah, I'll be a little more aggressive on Sunday. But you take that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it shows heart. Don't get me wrong, but I take the tie. Because that's a big gamble.
A
So
win is better than a tie, though.
yeah, but if it's a 50-50 chance
You're
that
right.
you're gonna lose,
I get it both ways. That is tough. That's tough.
yeah, that's a
I can
tough way
sit here
to
and
lose.
say I'll go for it all day long, but in that situation, I don't know.
Right, exactly.
But I don't know. I would have to think about it.
Heat of the moment. I mean, I remember when I remember when we played main event when we played some team. I don't remember the team name. It was a while ago, and we did the same thing. And it's like I got upset because I was like, "Yo, go for the tie," and Mike was like, "Against a team like that, you go for the win. You know, you don't. You know, we lost. We ended up losing because of that. You know, and that was
Yeah, but who's to say that you would have gotten the tie?
we always have the best kicker in the league. That's not even a question.
Yeah, but it don't matter who's the best kicker. A snap can go wrong.
Snap could be bad.
It's rare. It's rare. It's very rare that we would ever. You know what I mean? But I can't say that because we kind of messed up a few times. And what was it, 2020 or yeah? Because we messed up a few times against the Lions.
I think if I had Mike D, I would go for it every time.
Nah. I mean,
even if I had the best kicker in the world,
I'd rather give Mike D more time in OT.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
There's no
if
OT.
there is no OT.
No. I'm saying we lost on a Sunday.
Yeah, but that's different. Sunday's different compared to Saturday. We're talking Saturday and overtime.
I'm still kicking the tie. I'm still kicking for the tie. Still, I'm playing it safe. I don't got to be as aggressive. But yeah, so. That's just my 2 cents, but continue.
It's probably about 75-25 for me. 75.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I go for the win every time. That's just to me getting that win. If they had beaten the Lions on Saturday, that's huge momentum entering Sunday. And what they showed me on Sunday was they can compete. Mm-hmm. What they did to that Rollers defense was insane. And you're right. I agree, TJ. You're going against a heavyweight champion in the 15-round prize fight. You're fighting them. You're playing them tough. You're playing it close. Go for the win. You get that win, it's momentum. But day 2, they took on Rollers. Monet had that game. 35-27 was the final. Rebels over Rollers. Did not. Major upset. It's funny. Before the game, Dion made that post saying that him and Shaq were going to have about 8 picks on TJ Holston. TJ probably could have thrown for 8 touchdowns in that game.
After the game, Dion was saying they sucked. funny how things change.
Yeah, that was.
Go ahead, Joey.
It's crazy to think that where this Rollers team was. They were very close to knocking off main event back at the quarters and nationals. And you look at it, 2 tournaments back to back, one and done on Sundays. I think this one, I think they really came in not thinking much of this Rebel squad, and then the Elite Rebels. They showed what they can do. They definitely have what it takes to compete.
This is the worst loss. Worst loss.
You think this is their worst loss for the Rollers?
Yeah. Because I'd rather take the loss to main event and then main event goes on and win it, opposed to losing a team that you probably should have beat. Because me, I say anybody could beat anybody, but you coming in, as what were they? They was the number 1 seed. If I'm not mistaken.
Rollers were not. The Rollers were
number 3, a number 3 seed, and you lose to the number 6 seed, and you give up 35 points. That's Rebels. But I mean, Rebels was putting up points. Don't get me wrong. They was putting up the points.
TJ Holston can play on the A level. TJ Holston showed me this weekend he's an A quarterback.
I did not expect to see 35 by the Elite Rebels on the Rollers defense. So I think that's the biggest upset in 2021 so far.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't like when they competed against the Lions, I said, okay, they might have something against Rollers coming the day 2. Because the fact they did that against the Lions team who shut out the Misfits the way they did.
Yeah, it really made the Misfits games make no. It's
crazy. Yeah, that bracket is weird to look at. Misfits beat Rebels by 3 touchdowns. Lions beat Misfits by 5. And you look at the Lions Rebels game, I even thought that was going to be a blowout. I seriously did. And the fact that it came down to a 2-point conversion at the end is just is wild. And it's a testament to the work that this Rebels team did this weekend. They got the win 35-27 on the Rollers. That was an instant classic, man. I look forward to editing all this later on just to see all the footage. A lot of good stuff this past weekend in Ocean City. Let's get to the semifinals. I'm going to start with the game you had, Ross, which was Lions and Misfits, the rematch. That game seemed like that was a very much more competitive game. It was about 22-13 at half I had seen. Yeah. Walk us through what went down in that one. I believe the final was 36-13 Lions.
Yeah, it started kind of getting away from the Misfits there at the end. But really, again, like I said about the games before, it didn't really make the last Misfits Lions game make sense, but it was Monday day. And Misfits already beat No Mercy, so they have momentum coming into it. So, we all know what kind of happened outside of football. It got all worked out or whatever. But other than that, that was a very good game, competitive game, back and forth. A lot of talking, a lot of bickering, a lot of back and forth. But for me, the bickering and the back and forth and the shit talking is football. The punches and you can go somewhere else with that kind of stuff. Albeit for whatever reason it happens. But as far as the game went, it was a really good game. Jay Dorsey is an animal, man. He's an absolute animal. I heard people saying he was best center. I think that was the first Lions game I've ever covered. So I got and Costa, where did he begin? Dropping dime.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he like I said, he had no issue with their defense in that first day either. Like Costa, but you look at the secondary, it's a tough matchup for them. Misfits had a lot of young guys in that secondary and a few guys who haven't really seen that level of A-ball talent on a regular basis. It's a tough jump to make. We talk about how playing sometimes certain competition won't always prepare you for others, but it does give you a chance to practice and execute when you can. Yeah. Honestly, overall, this seemed like a really good game. I did not catch hardly any A this weekend, so I'm gonna be very useless on this show, just to warn you guys. But looking at it, got to give credit to this Misfits team. Yeah, they came out and competed this weekend. Like the Rebels, rather. They showed they belonged in that A bracket, and they could definitely play on that level. And to me, I think that's big for the DMV going forward when it comes to trying to grow more A teams in the area. For a while, the DMV has been noted as Aftermath, Anarchy / Whack Rebels.
Top heavy.
Yeah, 7-point spread. The Bullets, of course, were the A teams for a bit there. And while they had successes here and there, 7-point being the last national champion from the DMV in the A, it's kind of wild to think the last 2 A championships won by the DMV is by Rampage. We'll get on that tomorrow night. But looking ahead, I feel like it's very optimistic for the future of the DMV with Misfits and the Elite Rebels. And I feel like No Mercy too. While they did go 0-3, they arguably played 3 of the top teams. Rollers, like I said, I can't really. I think Rollers underestimated the Rebels a lot, and the Rebels took that Lions game, realized they could compete, and went back out there, fought hard. I think Dream went through the same thing. You talk about what Dream's doing right now. Those 3 teams, Misfits, Dream, Elite Rebels, they are doing really good work, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they progress going forward. We're going to have more on that, of course. But look at the other semifinal. Strong Island beat Rebels. I think Jerome actually got the record of that score. I know Monet was on that one. Ross was on the other field during that game.
I believe it's either 29-7 or 24-7. I think it's 29-7.
Okay. Yeah. Tough draw for the Rebels, man. Strong Island's defense, they showed up, they balled out, they found a way to shut down that Rebels offense who up to that point, you looked at it, the Rebels had put up 30 points per game entering that game. They were averaging 30 points per game on offense. And they were held by the Strong Island Bulldogs to just 7. Got to give a lot of credit to that Bulldogs defense. They played up. They played tough. Rebels offense, they showed up this weekend. Like I said, for an A bracket team to average, for a team making basically their A debut at this point. I know some of the guys on Rebels were with Anarchy and Whack Rebels, so the experience is there to some extent. But I know some of the guys who were there on BC Elite, that was in B previously. They came out this weekend against some very tough competition in the form of a Rollers team that was top 5 coming in. We'll see coming out, though, against a Lions team that always comes to play, always shows up, always shows out. They're always in the thick of things, this Lions team is. Look at the resume they've had the last few years. And, of course, against the Strong Island Bulldogs as well and the Misfits. That's a hell of a first weekend for the Rebels.
Is it fair to say that I like the as much as I like the Elite Rebels, I want to see No Mercy because they had an 8-point loss, a 9-point loss, and then another 8-point loss. Like those are 1-possession games. Yeah. So you lose to the Bulldogs by 8, you lose to the Rollers by 9, and then you lose to the Misfits by 8. Those are 1-possession games.
They're in it. Like I said, the DMV, I feel like, is getting a little bit better in regards to the A.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, and don't get me wrong, people say it's a close at-home tournament. But at the same time, every tournament is going to be at a different location and favor some team some way or another in that regard. And it's who comes to play and what they got. And I feel like when I take a look at those 4 teams, they stood out to me a lot this weekend and showed, and to me gave a better performance than what we had seen in years past from some of the DMV teams playing in the A circuit. As we mentioned, the last few times we had seen an A team win from the DMV, it was Rampage in both Capital Classic 19 and Hagerstown 18, which Ross got to watch.
Yes, I
from the sideline.
Yeah. It was Rampage. Rampage has been good.
But you take a look at these 18s coming up in the DMV: Misfits, Rebels, Dream, No Mercy. Pretty optimistic. We'll talk more about that. Let's get to the championship. Lions, Strong Island. Somebody pointed out, this was a rematch of Virginia Beach 2019's championship. Rob Lane was the quarterback for the Lions in that Virginia Beach championship game against Strong Island. In this one, he was the quarterback for the Strong Island Bulldogs against the Lions. So also the rematch as well from Rhode Island in that A championship with Costa and the Lions against the Blazers and Rob Lane to a degree with that regard. So a bit of a QB rematch there. Awesome game overall. 17-16 was the final. Monet had that championship. Once again, I apologize. I haven't had time to watch any footage. I've been on the go since probably last Saturday morning at this point.
I was going to say I need to still go back and watch this game. I haven't found time to do that yet, but I am going to do that for sure.
Yeah, this was an absolute epic classic between the two of them. The final score of that one being 17-16. And I actually had thought the Lions had the game won and secured. It was 16-7 in the fourth when I tuned out to continue my coverage. And about an hour later, someone sent me a text saying that Strong Island had won. What came into effect was the 4th and 20 onside kick rule. The Bulldogs were able to convert that. And then at the end, it was Craig DeLeg on the kick to give them the championship, 17-16 was the final. Awesome game between the two of them. That's what A bracket football, flag football is all about. Is games like that, those close competitive championship games where two sides just duke it out. It's a prize fight. It's something great. The best talent is in that game. The best teams played in that game. And when you take a look at it, it adds to the resume of what the Strong Island Bulldogs have done the last few years. And we'll get to that momentarily. Like I said, big shout out to the Bulldogs. Again, I apologize for the lack of a big time recap. Mostly just because like I said, I barely covered any A this weekend. I think I did about one A game overall this weekend.
What's up, Wolf?
What's up, Jamie? But yeah, dudes, I really liked what happened. Good stuff overall. Let's talk about the status of A post this tournament. As we leave Ocean City, let's take a look at the status of A overall. I want to go into it. Jerome, what are your thoughts on the A bracket as we leave Ocean City?
It's going to be very interesting to find out what's going to happen in AC because, I mean, OC was very competitive. Like, I mean, most A tournaments are very competitive, but as we go into AC, it's going to be a lot more A teams. So I think we're going to really see the cream of the crop here. And like you said, I'm really excited to see these other, the DMV teams being more competitive in A. But I'm excited, man. I don't know. I'm really excited to see some of these DMV teams pop back up. So hopefully they keep the same team together, add a couple pieces. Like I said, a few teams need some offense, man. You can't play this great defense and your offense is stagnant. Like you're never gonna win in A.
That's the thing. And the biggest topic of this weekend to me in A bracket is the word offense. Can we talk about the offense this weekend in the A bracket? Misfits put up 41. Lions had put up 35 in both their games on 35 and 34 on Saturday in both their games. Rebels, the way they came out, 34 on the Lions, 35 against the Rollers. It's crazy to think how the offenses were this weekend. What do you all think was the cause of it? Are the offenses just this good right now in the 9-man game? Or do you think maybe there's a bit of a lag with some of the defenses?
I'll go first. It's difficult to gauge it because the stats show that it's not much of a drop off for offensive production from Sunday to from Friday and Saturday to Sunday. It's the defense. The defense is kind of tightened up. But they play better defense on, I guess, pool play, and then I guess when you play better offenses, the offenses open up. So it's a give and take situation. But I don't know. I think most offenses stay consistent. It's the defense never holds. So normally great defenses don't hold, but for so long. So that's what the stats show, that from Saturday to Sunday, the offenses stay the same, but the defenses give up. Like they give up maybe another touchdown per game. So I think the offense it's going well. I think the defenses, you have to have a really good defense.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, like I said, it's interesting to think of all the points scored this weekend. Yep. Not used to seeing a lot of it. I do agree with Kent, though. A lot of defenses did score points. Remember, Lions had 3 pick-sixes on Misfits in that game.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great plays this weekend. It was a lot of fun flag football. A was awesome. Jerome, I know you got your rankings. Tell me who you got. You have 6. I rank 5. Who do you got at your 6?
My 6. Oh, I got to go over 1 second.
Way to be prepared.
My six. It's because it's like so many categories, so I gotta like zoom out. So my 6, we have the Misfits at 6.
You got Misfits at 6.
I got Misfits at 6. Yes, Misfits actually knocked out the Gladiators. because unfortunately Gladiators didn't make the tournament. So they didn't. It's not only that they didn't make the tournament; it's how well Misfits played. They went 1-1 and then 1-1. So how well they played, they jumped up to the number 6 spot, bumping the Gladiators out.
Okay. So, all right, you're number 5.
Rollers.
You got Rollers?
They stay at number 5.
Yeah, okay.
And it's crazy because like we alluded to, 2 tournaments and they go 1 and done. And it's not the offense, because they scored 95 points, on Friday and Saturday, but they don't score any points on Sunday. So I don't know what's going on with that. Only scoring 33 points in the 2 games on Sunday, Nationals and Ocean City. So we got to find out what's going on with their offense.
All right. I'm going to go with my number 5. I'm going to go with Misfits.
Okay.
I got the Misfits in number 5 here. I know you got Rollers. When I look at the 2 of them, Rollers have definitely showed they could play on the high A level. They competed with Punishers, main event, and Nationals. A little disappointing this weekend. I do think a Misfits Rollers game would be very intriguing to get a measurement between where these 2 teams are. But I look at the performance of the Misfits this weekend. The only team they lost to was the Lions. They beat No Mercy. They beat the Rebels. You could say maybe that's 2 teams they usually play. But like I said, that second Lions game was a little bit more competitive than the first. And they definitely showed to me that they have that kind of A potential. But like I said, it's very early in A. We only had about 7 teams in this one. And there's still plenty of more A ball to go. So like I said, this will fluctuate a little bit. But for now, I got Misfits at 5. Who's your number 4?
Number 4 right now, we had the Punishers drop from number 2 to number 4.
Okay.
And again, same reason. Unfortunately, they wasn't at the tournament. But just like I believe if the Gladiators are at AC, they're going to be right back in the mix of things.
All right. My number 4 for me, I'm going to go with the Lions. They're going to stay at my number 4. In fact, honestly, looking at my rankings, I'm going to go ahead and finish mine up because, like, in my case, it's about the same. I'm not going to really change anything on my end. Lions are still my 4. They had a great weekend overall performance-wise. They played very well. They were physical. They were tough. They very well should have had that Bulldogs game. Just let it slip out of their hands at the very end.
Yes. Yeah, 2 touchdown lead they gave up, I believe, right? Mm-hmm.
They had a 9-point lead in the 4th, yeah. And you look at it, like, to me, them and Strong Island are about on level with each other. Like, even though Strong Island got the win this time around, I still look at those teams as about even when it comes to that ranking. In fact, like I said, any of the top 4 to me is on the same level as each other at this point. It's just a matter of who comes to play any given Sunday. Your number 3?
My number 3 is main event. Main event falls from number 1 to number 3. Again, same reason. They just wasn't at the tournament, and as everything added up, that's kind of where they gauged them falling to number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is going to be Strong Island for winning the tournament. Like I said, them and Lions very close. It's neck to neck, but like I said, it's a 0.1, 0.2 differential at this point to me between those 2. Your number 2? My
number 2 is the Lions. The Lions move up 1 spot from 3 to 2. And again, like you said, they play very well, but their defense, they've been giving up a lot of points on Sundays. So their offense drops off. Excuse me. The offense pretty much stays the same, but their defense give up more points. So they got to figure out what's going on with the defense on a Sunday. I know they're playing better teams, but normally defense was supposed to be most consistent.
My number 2 is going to be Punishers. To me, if it's a bye week, they'll be back next tournament.
Yes, sir. Number
1 on your end?
My number 1 is the Bulldogs. Bulldogs moved from the number 4 spot to the number 1 spot for multiple reasons. 1, because, of course, they won the tournament. And 2, because of the amount of games that they played. I believe they played a total of 10 games. So all the stats, give them a little boost in stats as well. But they've also been the most consistent scoring. I want to say they've been scoring 100 points on Friday and Saturday, and scoring 100 points on Sunday. And 100 points on Sunday was better because they have less games.
All right. And my number one, of course, I got main event. They're on bye this week. They'll be back next week. So that's our points on A going in. And I have a strange guest who just put a request in.
Is it the media man?
I don't know if it's Derek LaFond again or not. Let me let this person in.
Hey, let him in.
All right, we'll let them in, see who they are.
Okay.
State your name and business, sir.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Jamie?
Jamie,
how are y'all
welcome
doing?
to the show. Doing good, sir. How are you?
Fantastic. You had me up past my bedtime tonight.
My apologies, Jamie. Trust me, it's about my bedtime these days too.
No, I'm kidding. I'm happy to join you guys. Happy to join you.
We're happy to have you on, Jamie. Welcome to the show. We just got done here at Ocean City. We're roughly about 5 weeks away, I do believe, before Atlantic City. That's the next big one coming up. Tell the viewers, give the information. What's going down with AC? Any updates on that end?
Yes, I kind of held stuff back because I didn't want to step on Ocean City's toes. Everyone preparing for that. We have a lot of teams right now. We have a lot of teams. We're at 15A and 32 in B. And that's a little more than I can fit right now. So I'm trying to make some things happen. So I'm trying to get another field for us and make it all work out. But I'm excited for it. And I think it's going to be a great event. I think it's centrally located. We have things to do. I think there'll be less hanging at the field. I think more hanging at casinos and beaches and stuff like that. More family atmosphere too. A lot more to do. So I'm looking forward to it.
I look forward to it as well. I like that a lot. The family atmosphere, I feel like, is very big. Ross, you had your family down there this weekend in Ocean City with us. I know you, your wife, and the kids had a great time down there and enjoyed the tournament. Always great to get to. It's always
the wife told me she wants to come to Atlantic City now.
She wants.
Well, I'm thinking about it. How family friendly is Atlantic City? But at least there's a beach to throw the family on when we're at the field or something like that. So, but the park we're having it at does have a playground for kids, I think, too.
There you go.
If kids do make it, they'll be in good shape. So, but we actually got a busy couple of weeks coming up. I have a 3-week stretch. That's crazy. So I have Memorial Day weekend, AFFL in New York at Hofstra. So we're very excited about that. We've blown that out through the doors out with Chris Butte and Zarek and myself. So that's going to be a great event. We did make a little change to it. Jerome, you'll probably know this. We're not going to be at that field hockey. We took over the soccer stadium. So we're going to be at the soccer stadium and the 3 fields, grass fields around the field goal stadium.
Yes.
So they're right across the parking lot from each other. So 3 fields will be on one. Instead of using the field hockey facility, we're going to use the soccer facility. It's a bigger field. So,
I have one question.
Sure.
What did you think of C bracket?
You're going to put me on the spot right away.
I have to.
I mean, if he didn't ask you, I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Here's my feelings on it. I think it's coming to time where we need to have a C bracket. I'm not a huge fan of separating teams from B to C. I just think it's kind of demoralizing for some people, not for the teams that win it and play. They're the ones. They just want to win and play. But right. I think it just sends it doesn't fit me the right way. The one time I saw it was in Virginia Beach. And I think someone mentioned that when the Metro Dogs came down, they were the last team and they rolled through it. We need to get to the point where we're getting more recreational teams. Then we can create a C division. I'm all for a C division, but having it live and stand on its own. I'm not a fan of breaking it up.
So one. Okay, so I have a follow-up question.
Sure, please.
So when I say C bracket, I don't mean C bracket as A, B, and C. I mean, would you be opposed to having a team who possibly go 0-2 fall to a C bracket? Is that what you're speaking of?
Oh,
Or
no, I
yeah.
don't like that. I
Okay.
don't like I like in having a discrete, these are the teams in your bracket. I'm not a fan of it. I see how it happens, but that one team who didn't do well on Saturday falls to that bracket, then they're yoking up teams that they shouldn't be playing. I'm not a fan of that. So, and did experience, I said once before in Virginia beat Princess Anne, which I did play that. Did you know I played with main event?
Yes.
I kicked for them that one tournament, and I went. I think I missed my first kick, and Selena yelled at me. Then I made the next 12, so he was fine. But that was hysterical. But so sorry. More questions. I'm open to them. Whatever you guys have.
So you mentioned Atlantic City. You got 15
Yes.
for A, 32 for B.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the current cap at the moment, or would
I'm over the cap? I have 6 teams on waiting list right now.
Okay.
Teams always drop. It's like a wedding. 10% will RSVP now. So always, whatever your attendance you think it's going to be, it's probably going to drop 5-10%. So, but I'm trying to look. I mean, this one's holding pretty strong. So that's why I'm if I can get one field, I don't want an all night thing. I can make it work possibly now, but I don't want everyone to be there all night. That's not my goal. So
Understandable.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Trust me.
But at least there's things to do. And the one thing I like to do is you'll have those schedules out early. Once that deadline goes, I'll be ready to go, and the Sunday schedule too, because I think it's important to understand what's happening there. And I know a lot of people have been asking me who's going to go first, A or B, and there's a couple ways I've been looking at it. And if I look at it based on my events that I run, the last event had A at night, which was nationals. So I would go to this one, I would have B at night. But I really need to look at it in the scope of everything and see how the schedules fit together, and to make that determination. If I have one A first and it leaves me 3 fields not being used just because of sheer numbers, it doesn't work out. So it's like really a puzzle on getting those schedules to fit together. So I'm trying to get that answer because I know a lot of people like to plan for that Sunday and travel out. So there's a couple different ways to look at it. And if I go off, Andy just had, A early and B late, do I switch it up? So it's a bunch of different ways to look at it. But the one thing I'm really most concerned about is what's going to streamline it, make it run smooth, and not have tons of weights for teams. And because I usually, at worst, I want a 2-game wait. I think I had one game with 3. One team in Florida made have a 2.5 game or 3-game wait. So, but I hate doing that, but it's only one out of all those games in Florida, so it was good. So that's what we're looking at. So other questions you guys have? I'm an open book today, whatever you want.
So your thoughts on 4th and 20 as an option for an onside kick? Not the mandatory, but an option.
I'm all for building the game and doing new innovations to it. I think more of a lead up to it may be more beneficial. People getting time to prepare, people understand it, and that's why I try and do things with some more time in it. But I think it's something that works. I think it's competitive. I mean, we're relying on kicking, which is the smallest part of the game, to decide the biggest part of the game. So I understand the 4th and 20 thing. I just think we need to do a better job of educating first before we put that out there. I think it may have been disseminated to captains, but I'm not sure if that gets down cascaded to the players. So I don't know if the people, if they like it or not. It's probably the ones that they got 4th and 20. So who don't like it? I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
Me personally, I think it definitely adds to the game a lot. People don't realize 4th and 20 is harder to guard than what it sounds if you're a DB. You have to consider all possibilities. They have to get 20 yards. But sometimes, is it going to be a deep route? Is it going to be a quick slant? I saw a guy convert a 4th and 20 in league ball last year on an 8-yard slant, and then everyone missed his flag, and he went 72 yards to the house to win the game at the end. And it's something where it requires a lot of mental discipline for the defense. And it's something where I noticed back when I used to have my own teams, a lot of the times we were struggling. A lot of teams were struggling with that 3rd down and 20, 4th and 20 kind of play because it gets in the pressure of a lot of DBs. And in a game where I feel like kickers could be give or take depending on what team you're on, I feel like having that opportunity, or at least the option of it, is a good thing. I don't think it should replace onside kicks. I don't think kicking should be taken out of the game on any sort of level.
No, that's what I'm saying. I just think, and it's funny, when the rules part of flag, I'm not a rules guy. Just I'm self-admittedly, I'm not that guy. So like if changes are made to rule books, I usually don't have, I rely on people whose skill set are in those areas, I guess you would say. I didn't put on pads for the first time until I was 34 years old. Never played. So my high school didn't have a football team. So I played soccer drill. So I started playing flag later on in my 20s, and that's what got me here. So it's interesting. I try and leave that to the experienced people with the rules stuff, and that's why I never walk on a field. I never walk on a field to change a play, change a call. That's not my thing. Because if I do that one time, then that player's gonna come to me every time, and that's not fair to the refs at all. So for the rule stuff, I'll leave it to the other people.
I gotta agree with Jamie. I think I don't want to say it dilutes the game, but most of the time people are gonna go for an onside kick every time if they can out athlete, a defense. So I think you more so reward teams who may not have a good kicker, and you penalize teams that do. It's just the same thing that I was going to ask you before he asked you the question. It's the same thing like my thoughts on we always get stuff misconstrued when we say, hey, like if one team says that no, we don't have to kick for the game, then it's agreed upon. And then some tournaments it's both teams have to agree that we don't kick, and the only time we kick is during beginning of the game and halftime. So
well, the rule on that, the official rule, because someone asked me, I got a call during the tournament. It says in the A Pro Division I, it will be required to kick off the start of each half and after each extra point or scoring attempt for all national regional events. All other events will be required to kick off the start each half and mutually agree not to kick for the subsequent kickoffs. By mutually agree, that being defined as both teams must agree not to kick. If one team chooses a kickoff, whether they're receiving or kicking, there's going to be a kickoff. So that's how it goes. So it's at the beginning of the game it's decided. And that's for Division I. But that's right in the rule book there too. So that's what I saw. So I know there's a little confusion in the A division down there, but I think they ended up straightening it out.
Okay.
So. But
your thoughts on the growth of the A division currently? We took a look at this past weekend where Misfits, Dream, and Elite Rebels all appeared on A for the first time for all three in terms of teams. No Mercy, of course. NTB Wolfpack, I talked to Twan G. They said they're making the jump to A.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome to see St. Louis in the A. You look at it. DMV getting a little more representation down here in that division. St. Louis getting involved in the A a little more consistently. I know they said they wanted to make the trip to the East Coast very soon.
Yep. But you have, St. Louis, you got Back in Black. If it wasn't for COVID, they were in 18 too. So there's a lot. I'm looking at the list right now. You get Elite Rebels came back around this, the merging of the two teams. You have Dream, and one thing Darnell's going to have his guys ready to run through walls. I've known Darnell for years, and Dream will be ready to go, and they're not going to stand down to anybody. You have also, the Blazers coming back.
Yeah.
So that's a new one there too. You know what you get with the Punishers. You never know what you're going to get with the Gladiators. 3-point spread. You know what you're going to do there. second gen coming back. So that's something that people are forgetting about too. They're coming back. The Misfits. John's going to have the Misfits ready. We know that. They compete. And I think this is a time now, if you want to play A, to get to A.
Yep.
Because you have the local teams who are playing together. You had minimal tournaments in the last year or so. So those juggernauts haven't been able to play as much as they can together. So you're going to have those local teams who see each other more and be able to play in the leagues, be much more prepared to jump up. So just my take on it. And then you have other teams who could move up. So I'm trying to look at the other list. There's some that will make the jump sooner or later. Now, why is it? Explain to me something. Like, I don't know the background. No Mercy Scorpions. Why is it No Mercy now? I'm kind of. I haven't asked them about it. Maybe you know.
I'm not sure where the No Mercy part actually comes in at. I know some of the guys from Aftermath, the ones who didn't go to Bad Boys, came over to play for the Scorpions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much the core of it. As for the No Mercy portion, I have no explanation behind that part.
Yeah.
I do know their logo still uses the Scorpions, and I still call them the Scorpions in my head because I still see that logo.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of them still have scorpions on their back and stuff too.
Yep.
It still says Scorpion. The
full name is the No Mercy Scorpions, I do believe.
Okay,
yep.
All right, there you go.
The Scorpions.
So No Mercy is basically the city name.
Okay. The Scorpions actually came up to Rhode Island in 2008. So they came and played in one of my tournaments, Rhode Island, years and years ago, which is interesting. They were good then. That was awesome seeing them come up. That was one of the first ones to travel up to Rhode Island for one of our summer events. So I've known those guys for a while. So.
They've been around for a while. I believe they're about to hit 20 years very soon as a franchise down here in the DMV.
Yeah, we played them in, I'm going to date myself now, 06. It was, so 9-man B, there was no 9-man B. It was 8-man ineligible. So everyone played 8-man ineligible. And then when you won 8-man ineligible, you moved up to 9-man. That was a progression. There wasn't a 9-man B or anything like that. So in 2006, my team was the Silverbacks. We won the national championship. We doubled up the villains. So back in the day, Coop was on that team. He knows who it is. He remembers that game. Who else was it on that team? Reggie was on that team, Greenwood, I believe. There was a bunch of young players who play now. We were playing them. All those ride-out guys were on another team, which I met them our first year. I forget what they were on. But I've been seeing these guys playing for years. A lot of those guys from the DMV. Scorpions, forever. Alvin, forever. So it's great seeing it. It's like having family up there. So whenever I go. DMV.
Yeah.
So. But. What other questions?
I have one more because it was a good question. Sure. I think it was a brief question this morning, but I guess I have a different take than other people. Do you guys require a B team after winning? Like, is there a requirement that they have to move to A, or it's always their decision?
So that came about. The UFSTL used to have a rule saying, if you win, you move up. That's an organizational thing. I think most teams that win now are kind of pressured into moving up, whether they like it or not. You can't be the top dog in one division and not move up, in my opinion. I'm not going to force you right now to do it, but I'm not also going to let you wipe the table with teams too. So, right. I mean, Cody for years is going to say, I'm going to drop down and call myself something else. And when you're like, no, you're not. I know your rosters. I know all these players' rosters now.
That's what I said.
If I see it, and now it's great, we publish them. Back in the day, we never published them.
Yep.
I should publish the first day I do it. So it's great seeing those names, and it's funny, like you see those numbers and those registrations. It's fun. It's watching it happen. So I'm excited for that. That part's awesome. But
yeah, that was definitely a tough conversation. And I said that it's a lot of reasons why people may or may not move up, or may not move down. But
Yeah, I know one year the Nomads had to move up when they won
yes,
nationals.
yes,
And they fought me on it, and that was the organization we were with at the time's rule. And then I think when Back in Black won, or Stover Medical, or I forget which one came first, Bart's team, they won, and then moving up, I think they had a completely different team, so they went in under a different name, and it's tough. I mean, you can just have someone else register, but I think most people now know each other so well, they're not going to let it happen. We've created
right.
such a community where everyone watching us, they police themselves. I mean, they're the ones putting it's like waves. I mean, our group is like waves. It's all user driven content.
Yep.
It's all you guys doing. I don't need to be. I'm not live.
We will find you. They will see you on the cameras. The cameras are HD now. They're not from 5 years ago. Like it's 1080p HD. They will find you. So
Speaking of 5 years ago,
yeah,
we talked about all weekend how it's been about exactly 5 years now since flag football started being live streamed over Facebook. My question to you is, you've been around this game for a very long time, Jamie. How much do you think social media and Facebook Live, the app itself, has impacted this game? Because there was a time of day where you didn't hear results until you had to ask somebody who was there, or you went on a website that was there.
So I obviously love incorporating people from outside watching our game that grows it. But the problem sometimes comes is then I'm reliant on a non-paying customer being happy, which I've never been about the money on this thing at all. The flag, I love it, but someone could be complaining from a live feed, but you're in New York and you've never been to one of my games and you're upset. Right. So let's find a way if you want to charge like a membership to view games, I don't know, probably that technology's out there. But I definitely,
it is.
Yeah, but I definitely think that live has grown the game. It also has hurt it in some too. You have some people puffing their chest out a little more because they're poked and prodded all week, or after a game, or after a play, or get on that Summer Jam screen on a meme or something like that. So the way I look, I always, if you can't laugh at yourself, who are you going to laugh at? Right. That's why you see I always pick those stupid pictures of myself with my hippie wig or whatever on, shit like that. It's all better off. I'll beat everyone to the punch of making fun of me. So, but I definitely think, I know when it started, Jaya was one of the original people who started doing it. I think it got a little out of control. I want to say Nationals a couple of years ago when we had 3 people, 4 people on the field. That's a little much. I think we're starting to be too much into the game and could really be a detriment to a play or something like that with that many people there, even though the views were crazy. I think we had 500 people or something crazy on all those things combined.
Yes.
So I see that. I think this year at Nationals, we kind of took a step back and only allowed certain people on the field, which I think worked well. But even if I did, the problem is if you do kind of curb it, I can't curb everyone's phone on a sideline. So I might as well embrace it. That's the way I look at it. So, and I was never, with all the tournaments that Sev and I did together, I was never the media guy. I was never the one. Yeah, cut that budget. Let's get rid of that stuff. It's definitely part of our game, and it definitely needs to be represented. And Chris taught me a lot of that, and made me realize it, because I know that helped his league grow into what it is today, and that great group of guys who are keeping that alive, which is unbelievable. That tourney league. So I'm looking to get down there soon. But it definitely has changed the way, and it made people, excited to watch themselves play, to have content. I mean, we're a content society. Right. Content's what drives us, whether it's still, it went from still photography, let me put this picture up on my profile pic, to now let me show me, stiff arming this guy to the ground, or me, you know, or lineman dropping hands on someone. Watch that. There's nothing better than watching that D lineman fall on his face doing that. So just them leaning too much and boom, down. So that's what I miss playing the most. I miss that stuff. So I might have to post my video for my last game still. They did the highlight tape in Connecticut when I played with the Bulldogs. I have that somewhere. I'll have to send that off.
Yeah, there's a couple pictures out
there. Just so they don't forget. And not my swoosh cleat thing from Virginia Beach that year. I left my cleats at home and I had to run. The only thing open was Walmart. So I had to grab these, you know, soccer shoes, which had a swoosh that kind of looks like Jeff Costa's swooshes that he used to put on his shirts. So, but I hope that answers your question about social media and how it's affected. You guys keep this alive. You are the ones talking about it. You are the ones giving it legs, and the community is giving it legs. I'm just glad to be along for the ride. And the content you guys provide is unbelievable. I'm sitting here this weekend on my couch yesterday, had the game on my TV, you know, watching them hearing Joey yell at somebody, you know, getting into it a little bit. You were much calmer than I would have been, but we're going to leave that one alone. We're going to leave that alone.
That's what me and Joey talked about. We were actually kind of glad that it happened to Joey. Even Joey was glad it happened to Joey, not me, because he was much calmer than I would have been into.
the last time that I got in something, God. So I used to run leagues. So I used to run the league in Rhode Island years ago, and I ran a indoor league with my partners at the time, with my friend Willie Edwards, Mr. Kilgore, Joe Tortolano, and we had this great league in Rhode Island. And it was in the winter. We were playing indoors, and I was in New York. I grew up in New York, and I just found out it was 2008 or something like that. Just found out my father was terminally ill. And I was driving back in a snowstorm, just need to get my aggression out and play. So I go right from driving to New York, 4 hours, when it's usually a 2-hour drive, go play my game, and I play O-line. And the guy playing D-line's kind of talking shit to me the whole game, and then doesn't know my situation whatsoever, where my head was. It's one of those indoors with the benches, like the hockey benches. So he yells from the bench, "Go F your father." So, not knowing my situation, so I leapt up, and I'm a quiet guy. I literally put my hand on top of the boards, knocked him right the fuck out, and he was a cop. So
shit,
he was a cop. So, but and then they're like, "Why is Jamie going crazy? What's going on?" And then I had to tell the story and suspend myself from my own league. So which was crazy. So that's the last time I threw a punch in football. First and last time, but that's a funny story. Don't like to see that though. But I knocked the shit out of that kid. He knocked the shit. They're like, "What the fuck?" And I was just crazy back then. But so I don't know. What other questions you guys have? Anything else I can answer for you? AC, Nationals.
Yes.
History.
Do we got any Nationals update? Is it looking like Northeast Regional once again?
Northeast Regional is our goal. That's what we're going to be. The FFWCT is not offering 9-man, so it's not an option for us. And we had a great experience with the UFFL and working with Norm McLean and Billy and his group. And Zarek and I are full pointed ahead and looking to make sure we're back there again. So I think that facility is just so, I think, perfect for our needs. We're 15 minutes from houses.
Yeah.
And what it used to be, Jerome, you remember what it used to be. You were in the car 45 an hour.
That's just from the airport to the houses. And then it's another 45 minutes to the.
Yeah, it just was horrible. But being there, being close to the fields, being all on turf. I mean, the facility is great. They work with us well. They work with us so much. We're doing the AFFL there also in the week after Atlantic City. So that's what I was saying, 3 weeks in a row, AFFL, AC, Florida. Those 3 weeks in a row. I'm doing events. So I'm going to be on the road a lot on the weekends. So, but that's the goal is Northeast Regional Park. And I think it will be bigger than last year, definitely just because of COVID factor. So we missed a lot of teams for COVID. Love seeing Brick Squad out in Ocean City. They're one of our local teams, Rhode Island.
They
comment my feed when I was doing. That's a good squad.
Yeah, one of the best players in B. You have Duda on that team, receiver, and plays safety, I think, too.
Yeah,
guy jumps through the roof.
Slim Reapers, what I like to call him.
Yeah, no, he's great. And then Oki, great. He's a Province fireman, the quarterback. So great bunch of guys. Know those guys for years.
They should have had that game when Baez. That drop in the fourth.
I saw that. I watched that over his shoulder. I saw that. And Mitch is on that team. Mitch is a very underrated player. Mitch played on BC. He's played with tons of teams and single-handedly has won games with the little running back, kind of slot receiver, Edelman-ish. So he's been playing for years.
Yeah. Question about the rest of the circuit between now and nationals. What is it looking like for other circuit events? Is there a set calendar, or are we kind of still waiting?
So I think we're getting to a more easier time to be able to plan for these things. Obviously, we took AC this year and took Virginia Beach out of the picture. We were going down a road with Atlantic City already when we were looking at it for March, and I thought it was just a natural progression to keep that conversation going. So from there, once we get out of AC, then we're looking at that July standpoint. I know traditionally Albany, something happens around then. I'm not sure what's going on. I assume they'll do something. And then you start going into August when I think the beginning of August, 5th and 6th may be in Baltimore. I believe.
7th and 8th, I believe, is what we're shooting for.
Yep, 7th and 8th, Baltimore with Robbie and Terrell and those guys. And then there's that big opening period between August and October because everyone's coaching or kids are playing football. So that's usually a dead time and league time. So then you have that lull. You might get a New York or Connecticut event in there, but we'll see. Then in Rhode Island is November, I think 6th and 7th in Rhode Island. And then Andy usually has that Hagerstown tournament after that. And I think that brings us to Florida. Actually, there's a 9-man event in July that in outside of Boston by the Mass Flag group. So they're adding it for this event, 12 teams, because the Mass guys have been asking for it. So I saw them mention that. So Austin reached out to me. I know him from Mud Bowl, and he I gave him our rule book, so he was going to utilize our rule book. Have you guys ever heard of the Mud Bowl?
No.
Oh, so the Mud Bowl is an event. It's in North Conway, New Hampshire. It's been going on for 35 years, and you play 7-on-7 rough touch in a pool of mud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going on 35 years. You can't get new teams in it because no team would leave because they only have one field. So it's always free beer for all the players, free beer. They have beer taps in the woods that you can go and it's for everyone. It's such a fun event. And that water could be cold as hell. I mean, I've walked into that stuff at 8 a.m. and you're breaking ice to get in there, and you're finding sand for forever in that. And you have to tape up your feet. So you put on like scuba shoes and you put duct tape around them, and that's how you play because you're running barefoot on rocks and in mud and all stuff like that. And it's 10 foot for a first down. That's how tough it is. 10 feet.
I want to film that. I want to film that.
That's in September. They did Kenny Mayne a couple of years ago did the Wilder World of Sports. He played in it, so which is pretty cool. Nice. But it's called the North Conway Mud Bowl. So if you look it up, there's tons of videos. I played it 2 years ago. I've been played it 5 or 6 times, and it's just an unbelievable experience to do that. Just something different you got to try and do.
Yeah, so, I want to play that.
Yeah, it's in September. It's the week after, I think it's the 12th, 13th this year, up in North Conway, New Hampshire.
That sounds
so. There's another one in the summer in Maine. That's on private property. So people camp out on the property where the fields are. And I know the Alliance guys from New Hampshire play in that. There's a bunch of them who play. And they do this, it's a whole community event. So it's fun. They do parades and all the money goes to the city. So, but
Okay.
yeah. What other questions? I don't know if anyone else has any
I
comments.
got one
any
more if that's
questions.
okay, Joey.
Yeah, you go ahead, Jerome.
So I know how we did it in Florida. So going forward, will you be splitting up A and B like in two different locations? Not so much Florida. I want to say like AC last year because I know like the logistics was like killing us as media. I know don't you know I'm gonna say don't take my word with a
He's
grain
the
of
only
salt.
one complaining, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's the lies. That's
No.
the lies. No, but it's just the logistics of because I know when we spoke about it before, you had said that you wanted to have A be able to watch B and be able to watch A. You know, I know that was the reason behind it. So are we gonna still try to do that going forward?
So whenever I can put everyone in one place, it's much easier to manage. So that's always my goal. The facility I got, and down in Atlantic City, there's not a facility that can house that many fields. In Atlantic City, I had the mayor on a Zoom call. What do you need? I go, I don't need that 60 by 80 field you're trying to give me. They wanted anything to get our business. And Pleasantville and some of the people were real tough to deal with. But we have some great feet on the streets in Atlantic City who help us. And that's what really drives us with the Brian Roberts who steps up and helps. Jeff Ward steps up and helps. There's so many names of people. But the facility we have now has 5 fields. They're not all on top of each other. They're kind of cut out in the woods, which is kind of cool, walking through paths and stuff. 3 of the fields, 3.5 of the fields have full goalposts already. One of them has a stands and I think a scoreboard that we can utilize. One field, and I'm trying to get another one too, off-site. There's one that's going to be in between 2 baseball fields. It will fit. It's going to be a little tight, but we'll make it work because I want to try and get as many teams in as possible. So, but we'll probably have, if we have 5 fields, we'll probably have 3 running B all day, 2 in A, you know, probably how it would work. Based on the times now, I could probably have last game, us out of there by 8 o'clock on Saturday with this many teams, which would be great.
Okay, so everything's within walking distance. We don't have to drive.
Oh, no, you park your car and you're good.
Okay.
Unless I get one extra field just to make Sunday easier. That's the thing. Yeah, but all 5 fields are at one location. You park your car, you stay there.
Perfect.
So, which is great. Looking forward to that. So, and then we have these great hotel deals for anyone listening. So I went to Harrah's, or I went to Caesar's Palace, and Caesar's owns Harrah's. They own Trop. So they're begging for people now. And I got these rates for us. I think they're 29% below cost right now for like Harrah's, $219 a night in the summer. I mean, you're not finding that. You know New York places, Jerome, or New Jersey, you're not getting that at a casino.
No, sir.
And I think and Trop is, I want to say, like $10 more. And then I have the Ramada for people who travel with tighter budgets, and I got those for $150 for the weekend. So I told people jump on those. I'll hit those again soon. I think we sold out of a lot of them already. But it's 22 minutes from the fields. So it's perfect. It's not like Virginia Beach when I'm out in Chesapeake and you're driving an hour, you know, to Virginia Beach to the boardwalk. This is truly right there and close to it.
Perfect.
Yeah, Virginia Beach when I went was far, far from Virginia Beach.
Yeah. And no service.
Marketing.
And no service.
Marketing. No, you get on that back field.
Attractive as saying Chesapeake, I will say that.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was a good spot when we had it. When we had it there, that buzzing sound from the wires always freaked me out. From the power lines going over that front field, that made me twitch a little. Definitely made me twitch a little. So, trying to think what else is going on our side. Yeah. What's up?
Do you foresee Virginia Beach ever returning, or do you feel like it's going to be a couple years before we see it again?
We'll look at it. I mean, I think the bigger facilities are down there. If Atlantic City ever built up like that airport where all that land is, they could kill it down there. Virginia Beach, a tough thing when you're looking at our teams and their geographics. You know, there's not a lot of Virginia Beach, so we're literally bringing everything to there. Why put all these teams through that sometimes when we have some sites that could work better in between? I mean, people say use Virginia Beach earlier because the weather, but they won't let you on your fields earlier.
Okay.
So we've tried that also, and these and these fields have gone up and up and up in price. It's crazy. I mean, these things literally probably went up 700%, Chesapeake. So it's just crazy that the things you're looking at, because now they make you require different things. You got to get that security. You got to get that kid on the golf cart who's going to not pick up trash and yell about trash. You know, I got to have this police detail, these porta johns, which I've always had those, but it's just there's a lot of costs associated with it now, and I don't want to put it back on the teams. So then we look at more cost-effective things. When we were looking for AC in March, I was looking all up and down the coast, trying to find places, dealing with everybody. Everyone was great. Scott Reynolds helping me a tremendous amount, trying to get fields. I looked at that DE turf facility. That thing is crazy. I don't know if you saw that DE turf, $1,300 a day per field.
Wow.
Yeah, $1,300. Yeah, it's you pay that for your kids. Delaware. I think you see it from the highway, but it's a 15 field turf complex in Delaware.
Because nobody use it, they charge that much. They're trying to make that money back because it's too expensive.
It's all based on kids. It's not the adults. I mean, we'll pay anything for our kids. You know, I'll pay $100, $200, whatever for my kids, or whatever that team and my kid pays competitive soccer's $1,000 or whatever it is. We pay for our kids, not for ourselves. So, but they do have alcohol and stuff like that they sell on site. But there's we looked at a lot of places up and down the coast, just trying to find a spot, and no one wanted us because of COVID. They didn't want anybody. Azam also helped me from the Blazers in Jersey City. We were close in Jersey City too, but we would have been spread out on multiple complexes, which would have been tough. But a lot of good stuff happening. It's just exciting to be back out there and see everyone. I look forward to those times. I mean, the more work you do before those, you can just hang out and say hello to people and put faces to names and voices to faces, and that's the best part of it.
Right.
And just driving around on a golf cart in Florida, what's better? Come on, I'm getting ready for my future. So I'm kidding. So, but
do we have St. Louis? Do we still have St. Louis on the map for maybe something but 9-man, or even Atlanta? Because I believe that's
St. Louis definitely is trying to do something. I think COVID slowed a lot of stuff down. The tough thing is that anywhere we try and move to, we want to have a sustainable base in there, so we don't have to rely on everyone. There's no point everyone traveling somewhere besides Florida just to not have anyone to play the same teams. So St. Louis can definitely support an event that can have that local presence. Atlanta, not a lot of 9-man. There's no 9-man teams in Atlanta. Carolinas, there's no 9-man teams in Carolina like there used to be. There's fields, but why are we all going to fly down to Carolina or drive down there when we can meet, in Jersey or in DC or wherever? So that's I mean, Atlanta would be great. Zerek's there. Once Zerek's complex is complete, that would be great. 100% would host something there, and it's partnering with other styles too. So where I think you'll see us grow some also, and that's what's great about this AFFL stuff and getting involved with that. I'm meeting a whole new customer base that I never knew before.
Tell me about it.
so they're all new people. I've seen some of the names, and I hope they like to deal with me. I'm pretty easy going with it. And one thing you can always say, and anyone I've dealt with, I've always listened, and I've always heard opinions and think I always look at the best in people. That's who I am, maybe to a fault, but that's why I think we're so strong together is because a lot of us are like that. And I mean, the little skirmishes, they're like brothers fighting, you know? It's like we need mom to hit us in the head or do something like that, because they're all like brothers and friends out there. And we got to remember that, because those people who fight on the fields, that person was on the side of the road getting hit or something like that, they jump out for them in a second. I know that guy, no matter who it was. You do it for me, any of you guys, and I would jump in for any of you. That's how it is. But on the field, it's a different story. Mama, what, you know, oh, it's on. But we just got to calm it down a little bit, just so it doesn't escalate things and get out of hand. It's like I used to bounce for years, and my bouncing jobs are easy because I only went where all my friends went. So wherever I went, I was 100 deep. So there was never any issues. I could talk my shit.
That's smart.
So I forgot where I was going with this, but it was a great story. I forgot where I was going. Oh, I'm sorry. I tell people, it's like, I don't care. Just don't do it here to me. You know, you go fight, go outside the club, do your shit, go beat the shit out of everyone. Just not in here, and we'll go drink a beer about it later, and you can tell me how you kick their ass. I just don't want it on the field affecting what we do, because it's unfortunate when it affects us and puts a black eye on stuff that we do.
Or we can't use that facility going forward, which a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, you lose them. Quickest way to lose them. I mean, they did not want us back in Austin Tyndall, and then look what happened next year. 100% we were to blame, but there was factors that led. There's always factors that leads to stuff like that. And it was obviously the sideline situation. Two teams competing on how hard they do in 9-man, and then being on the same sideline, and you just moss someone. Now you're standing next to them. It's not going to work. And that was a recipe for disaster. Right. But so then we went to Northeast Regional. I think we had a much better experience, more spread out. We had this great facility. They were so nice to us there, just close to everything. And I think our players realized that and kind of mellowed it down some.
Yes.
But it's interesting to see. So I don't know. Am I supposed to ask you guys questions now?
Yes.
What do you got, Jamie?
What should I ask? Let me see. There's so many media people now. How is it? It's tough for someone running events to decide where to go. How could you guys help me understand the process that I need to go through? Because one thing I try and let everyone eat, and that's one thing I've always tried to do. When I have people, there's so many people have different skill sets. Joey, your commentary and your history is unbelievable. You're rattling shit off. I'm like, is this Rain Man? It's ridiculous. Jerome, exact opposite approach. Jerome is all about the visual. He's all about getting that picture and getting the graphics behind it. And he's self-proclaimed. He's not a commentator. That's not his thing. Ross, I haven't seen enough of your stuff, but I know you're out there too. You're a little more gruff in there. I heard your voice out there a little yelling at people, but that's okay. Everyone has their role. and then you have, Skinny does a great job. If you ever hear Buck do it, Buck running down, screaming and yelling. Monet is a professional at it. Nikki with pictures, and I have Pat Johnson who's doing some unbelievable stuff with his thing. I just find it hard to help everybody. And try and pass it around as much as I can. That's my thing. So how do I do that? I'll turn it back on you guys.
You want to go first, Joey, or you want me to try to take a crack at it?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm staying out of it because I'm kind of media by default. The only reason, let me say this: after this weekend, it killed me not to be out there actually playing.
100% agree.
I'd rather be playing. I for my aspect of things, that way Jerome and Joey can gather their thoughts here a little bit. For my thing, I'd rather be playing.
Yep.
If not playing, at least coaching a team that is playing.
Yep.
Like I tried. I will say this now. I tried to do the Misfits game as unbiased as possible.
Can't.
But I run a team.
Jerome knows that.
You can't.
It's kind of the same thing, but not.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but it's comparable.
Some of your guys are on that squad, yeah.
I run a team here in Washington County. I started from the bottom. I literally didn't even 4 or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you if you would have even talked to me about flag football. I would have been like, just get out of my face with that. I don't want to hear it. If it's not pads, you guys are playing child's game. Joey knows firsthand where I come from with this.
Yeah.
Misfits has a bunch of Warriors guys. That's my team on that squad. So for me, the media part of it, I'm literally doing this to try to help Joey. But with that being said, I'm also injured, and I'd rather be playing.
Yep. But this is a way to stay involved.
I still want to be involved in the game as much as I can, and this is what it has led to. Whether I play again or not is still up in the air.
Yep. The one thing we don't have enough. I mean, we see transition to media. We don't see enough player transition to ref. That's one thing we don't.
We also talked about that actually.
I have been. I'm still also weighing that option as well. I kind of think I would make a great ref.
Yeah.
And I'm weighing that option as well still at this point.
Well, 100% talk to Kent, talk to Z if you're interested in doing it, and start off a game or two. They'll definitely work with you. So,
right.
Are you guys ready now to answer my question?
Jerome first.
It's difficult to answer that question because we are all sole proprietors. Like, we have our own thing going on, but also we work, with Dimitri. So Dimitri, he's not. We don't work for him. We work with him, and I think people misunderstand that. So I just want everybody to understand we work with each other. So if you want to hire us as a whole, and if we all agree to it, because we all have to agree to it, that's the person that you might want to speak to. And it's difficult because I was going to speak on this, maybe a little later on the stream. Don't try to hire us individually and then you steal our stuff and then you don't hire us, because we had that happen with me and Joey had that happen with, I'm not going to say names, but we had that happen with a couple organizations. So I think for now,
explain what do you mean by that?
Okay, so they'll ask us, hey, we're gonna have this tournament coming up. It's gonna be such and such here. What are your prices? And so we think we're in good standing. And it's like, hey, what do you use? Because we want to know, like, if you can incorporate with us. And then we'll give out little tidbits. And then they ghosted us. And now you're running a tournament, and then you're using the stuff that we gave you. And again, that's self-inflicted. We did that. We caused that.
Yeah.
But don't do that, because now when people are coming, like you said, hey, can we we want to work with you guys and blah, blah, blah. We're a little more hesitant to work with you, so that's what I mean going forward. So,
okay.
So if you want to gather like an actual team of us that's going to be there, and that's going to be maybe more serviceable than trying to get us individually, you can go to Dimitri, because, XFFL Productions is his baby, but we all work with him to branch that out. So
the contractors under him. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
And that's what I did for Atlantic City and some of the things I'm doing for
Right.
Atlantic City, which he probably talked to you about, and AFFL
Yes, sir.
also. So, Joey, what about you, buddy?
Myself personally, I'm just happy to be part of this game. I'm just happy that you guys have opened the door and let me be a part of your world. It really means a lot to me. I grew up watching 9-Man as a kid in our local parks down here. One of the first things I remember was that we had a VHS tape. It was about an hour's worth of games that my dad's team had played up here from 1997.
Wow.
And growing up, I watched that tape a lot because I always enjoyed going up to the parks and watching them play. And I never would have imagined myself almost 25 years later filming games on a national level in a sport that's growing each and every single day. And the amount of support that I've gotten from the 9-Man community, as well as directors like yourself, Jamie, along the way, have really, really meant a lot to me. And I think that it's really grown the game, seeing all of us come together. Myself personally, I'm just happy to be allowed to go on the field and even film in the first place. I'm happy to even have a chance to talk about this sport. You guys could have easily shunned outside media coming in and done your own thing, which a lot of organizations would have done, because it's kind of seen as a rogue thing that we're kind of doing. We're talking about it from an outsider perspective, without being officially part of 9-man on terms of that. But to me, I'm just happy to be part of this community. And the growth of the media over the last 5 years in this sport has been absolutely wild. Like, yeah, there was always video some way or another. I'm sure there's tapes, VHS tapes, DVDs of guys playing back in the day. But we got it to a point now where your family and friends can sit at home and watch you play. Your kids can watch you play from their house. And you have scoreboards now, you have HD graphics, broadcasts are looking somewhat straight out of what you see other networks doing with other sports. And we've gotten to this point where each of the media personalities bring something different to the table. You know, with myself, you mentioned that I talk about the history of a lot of things. What helps a lot is being around in this area for a while. Like especially when I cover teams that I'm very familiar with, I can tell you the whole story on AFN in the last 5 years, because I had a chance to experience and be there for a lot of it.
It's like a true Hollywood story.
It's kind of crazy. Like so much I've seen on this journey that I've been on in this sport over the last 7 years. You know, you mentioned Jerome. He brings a lot of technical aspects to the game. He's got a really good setup of what he does. And it's so much so that I see people going out there trying to copy the work he's doing right now. But I always say, anybody who wants to go out there and do this, as long as you're doing it in a tasteful manner, you're portraying the sport in a positive light, you're not going out there for exploitation, you're not going out there to make money off the game. I'll be the first to say it. I don't make a single dime off any of the documentaries or edits that I do. My YouTube channel is not monetized or anything like that.
That's what you love doing.
What's that?
That's what you love doing. That's why, because you love what you do.
Yeah. And like, to me, like at the end of the day, it's not about the paychecks or anything like that. That's all just added bonuses to what we're doing. I'm here just for the sport. I'm here for all of it. Like, I'm willing to go out to Ocean City and do that. I can go to local games. My Saturday mornings every week, if I'm not doing a tournament somewhere, I'm waking up and heading to league ball, and we're live 8 a.m. till about 12 that day, covering BC level players.
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Jamie.
No, you're good.
And to me, like, I've watched how live grew Washington County as a territory the last 7 years. There was a time about 8 years ago where the Washington County League was down to 3 teams total: Broad, Miller Lite, Red Knights, and X Dogs. And that was at the end of 2013. And there was a question of, okay, is it going to survive? Will anybody will more teams be coming? Is it dead? And then the next year we had an expansion. We had new talent come in. And over the last 7 years, I've watched West Virginia, the Eastern Panhandle part of the state, grow into such a market for players. In a 20-mile radius, there's over 100 players who play 9-man flag football in that state, in what is a very small portion, the very eastern side of it. And I think the media had a lot to do with that, because of the fact that people got more exposure to it. I get people who add me nowadays who aren't in flag football, that just want to see the clips, want to see the games. And I think 9-man has done a great job in embracing it. I would have never imagined you appearing on any show that I ever would have done 4 years ago.
Oh, God.
When I was sitting at a restaurant talking about our league play.
No, this is the best part about it. Am I technologically savvy? I do have some good pictures, though. I did used to be behind the camera before I started running tournaments in leagues. So there is some pictures out there. My best one, I think, is John and Rob Carpenter. Picture of the two of them in an Albany game jumping up. So you know John from Nomads. And then Rob Carpenter used to play for the Jets, and then He played for Main Event for a little bit and some other Real Deal back in the day. So, but back then, do you guys know about when there wasn't Facebook? There was this website called Real Deal site, and it had a message board, and everyone was like incognito. And the only way you can do it is search IP addresses if you have the back end to the system. So these people would try and snipe at their own players, at people. It was crazy. It was like everyone just bedlam. And you didn't know who was doing it. Then Facebook opened that up, and I knew who the person was who's telling you suck. You know, they're saying to your face now, virtually. But back in the day, that Real Deal site was on League Lineup. It was one of those sites, and it was crazy. I mean, oh my God! But right when the whole UFSTL MCFFU thing happened, every team. So back in the day, all 9-man was playing at UFSTL. Then they went over for a couple of years to the MCFFU, and the MCFFU was more, you know, for the players. It was more cash prizes. It was pool play. It was stuff that 9-man wanted. And then at the drop of within 2 weeks before nationals, all the 9-man teams left MCFFU altogether and went to UFSCL. 30 teams moved in 2 weeks. They were both in the same spot, so they're all flying to Orlando already. So just because they weren't happy with the way it was going, and the teams just one by one, and it was Chris, Severino, who was working with Mike Sion and brought me in to assist. So we were running the event that first year. So and then that's how it grew from there, being 9-man, always being together. These other styles wish they had our community, because, and I say it all the time, that they're too busy fighting against each other. We move together. What's best for us, and 9-man community is made up of players, coaches, media. We're all in this together. Everyone holds a vital part, even the family members letting the players play.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the unique thing about the media group, the guys you see right now on screen, myself, Ross, and Jerome, all of us started as players in this sport.
Yep. That's what you got to do. It's a love for the game. It's a love. I've seen Jerome out in the field. I've many times out there. I remember back in when we were at Cedar Creek, all those. That's where St. Patty's Day used to be played.
Yeah.
Was on Long Island.
Woo.
Yeah. Oh, what about? Oh my God! It was.
I can't imagine Long Island in March. I went there in April and it was miserable.
Oh yeah, freezing. The only thing colder was Rhode Island. That was the only one colder.
That was cold as hell. It was warmer the past year, but I mean, talk about overtime and onside kicks, Jerome. Cedar Creek. You know what I'm talking about. So catch that ball. I can still hear him yelling.
A lot of yelling.
But so sport has definitely grown. It's going in a huge way. And partners like Shrooms, they do a great job working with 9-man and supporting us. What they did for Chris, I'll never forget. That they went out on a limb and because they loved him and what he did for the sport and the flags that you have behind you, Joey. They did all that. They came to us with that. They came to me and said, "This is what we want to do," and we were able to provide. I don't even think we even went through. We raised, I want to say, $50,000, and that was separated between his 2 children for 2 college funds that we set up. That's already happened, and we have some other stuff down the line that we'll be doing for his kids too. So we have some more stuff happening. We 9-man stepped up, the community stepped up, which was awesome, all over the place. So it was great. Oh, it brings a tear to my eye. I'm sorry.
No, that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, it doesn't grow, and I think even when Dimitri speaks to some of the other leagues, and they have that infighting, and the reason why other leagues split with other leagues, it's because of that. They don't move as a unit, and if everybody works against each other, it hurts the overall product. So I think, eventually we are gonna have to work together. Like it's just like eventually it's just gonna have to happen. I mean, that's what overall is gonna lead to the same goal. So
let's just put it like this. Like when you take a look at all the different flag football styles, 4, 5, 6, 7s, 8s, they all have multiple versions of the same exact numbers. There's only one 9-man.
Right.
Yep. It's great. There's only one. It's so much fun to play. I mean, and I talk about it to people. I said, like, I don't do this for a living. I have a regular job, but when people see what else I do, and I tell them, they're like, what kind of people do that? I go, you mean former NFL players, former All-Americans, former players who've been in the biggest college football games of all time. People, who just have unbelievable accomplishments as athletes. And that's where you see the people, the personalities. It's awesome. I mean, everyone says you can make a reality show about some of this stuff. They've been saying that for years, but it's just a community we are. Imagine 8-man with the number they have, if they stayed together and moved together, the power they would have. I mean, all these other styles, it's just that they, for some reason, they're too busy fighting with each other. And the skirmishes that we have in 9-man, we still all move together. There's no 9-man other tournaments. We move as one, and we do what's best for us. I've never done anything in this thing for best for me. It's not about that. It's not about that at all. So, but guys, I think I'm hitting my limit here.
Yeah, me too. It's 11.
It's 11. You got a lot out of me, huh?
Yeah.
So, well, I appreciate your guys' time. Oh, someone's connecting. Oh, I don't know who that is.
Got our next guest coming right in.
Oh, he's coming in now.
Craig the Leg.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, good luck with Craig. I saw that kick. That was unbelievable. Joey, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Ross, pleasure seeing you, my friend. Jerome, as always, nice to see you.
Yes,
There's
sir.
Craig. Hello, Craig. What's going on, buddy? He's like, who the hell's this guy? He
Right.
doesn't know who I am. You have Rob Lane on. I'll see you guys later. Take care.
See you later.
Bye.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that.
Well, that's the thing about it is like it comes up as Craig Peterson on my end, and it threw me off for a second. Well, that's the thing about it is like it comes up as Craig.
I'm gonna head off too, Joey. Do your interview. I'm gonna sit back and play this on the TV and head to bed. Craig, I'll holler at you. You already know.
Good night, man. Have a good night.
Good night. Good night.
All right, man. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. I got my nightcap here. I'm just hanging out for a little bit until I hit the sack. So I'm just chilling.
All right, man. Walk us through this weekend. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to see many SI games this weekend. I was obviously on the opposite field as you all. Ross, I think, only caught the Dream game on his end. So let's go through game by game, starting it off. I believe the first one you all had was Saturday, right off the gate, No Mercy. Your impressions on this new look squad?
So actually, I got there a little late on Saturday. I was able to. I hopped on the field after driving about 2.5 hours from Baltimore and just kicked an extra point, and then the game was pretty much over at that point. So from what I saw on their point, or on their end, I should say, not too bad. I caught more of the second game. Who did we play? What was their name?
Your second opponent was Dream. The first time you played Dream, yeah.
We played them twice. That's right. I will say this. I hate to jump right over the first game, even though I didn't really get to catch much of it. But that team showed a lot of promise the second day. They were definitely they were in our ears the first half, and then we kind of just figured it out after that. I mean, they definitely show some promise. I hear you guys talking about them earlier. They're a new team. This is their first tournament on the circuit, right? Amen.
Second one for A, but the second one overall. They played B back at Nationals. A lot of people were talking pretty high of them. Like I said, there's a lot of young guys on that team that are coming in new to the game. They're playing flag. There's a lot of veteran leadership who are leading the way, though. And I think the combination, you never know what you're going to get when you have older guys running a team of younger guys, because that generation gap can be a really big difference. Like, it yourself. You've seen it firsthand, I'd imagine, over the years. Sometimes the connection's there with the older and younger guys. Sometimes it's just not.
Of course. And that comes with experience, too. You know what I mean? The longer you play in this game, the more you're going to evolve into a team. And, like Ross was saying earlier, they just need a few pieces. You know, they really do just need a few pieces. And I think in the second half on the second day, we started to exploit those weaknesses a little bit more in the second half, because the first half they played great. They were kind of figuring it out. And I think their quarterback, because I watched the game, you know what I mean? I get a little bored on the sidelines sometimes. And I watched the games, and you could tell their quarterback got away from what he was doing in the first half for whatever reason. I don't know if we changed things up or, you know, our defensive scheme was a little bit different, but the quarterback wasn't doing the same stuff he was doing in the first half. That was actually, we were having trouble with. So, you know, those come with experience. That comes with leadership. That comes with being a veteran. That's why when I play with main event, man, I mean, Mike, DMAR is the epic pro at doing that, and you know, just managing games, managing the clock, doing the right things, making the right passes. I mean, you know, everyone, you know, screws up here and there, but you're gonna have, you know, throws or games like that. But if anyone's the best at doing it, it's DMAR. And I think once Dream,
Yeah.
once they play more and play together more, they're going to start to experience that and get that leadership. They'll have that camaraderie, and then they won't be making those, you know, those rookie plays that they made in the second half against us.
Thoughts on your second opponent Sunday, Elite Rebels. You guys, that team put up a lot of points on both Lions and Rollers. And so coming into that game, they actually were averaging 30 points per game on offense. Yeah. Your thoughts watching this Rebels team and your impressions of them going forward, as they seem like they're going to be staying on A. They already signed up for a C in that A bracket. The commitment seems long-term. The result, you know, a little unfavorable for them against Strong Island, but this is a tough draw right there in that semifinal against the Bulldogs. Your thoughts on the Elite Rebels, though?
You know what? When we played them, I was shocked. We were all talking before the game. We're like, yo, we're literally planning on playing CJ and that entire team. We were planning on playing them and kind of coming up with a game plan. And I was talking with a couple of the Bulldogs before that game was even over. And, you know, we got to contain CJ. You know what I mean? We can't let him get outside the pocket, do his little rollouts and stuff like that, because he can be lethal at times. And when I heard that they lost, we're playing this team. I had no idea they put that many points on until after the game. And I was shocked at that. We went to go play them, and we're up 21-0 at the half. I don't know if it was a mismatch or it was just bad matchups. I don't know what it was, but we played great in the first half, and then we just coasted through the second half. I don't know. I wasn't able to really watch them when they, I don't want to say dominated, but when they put up that many points on the Rollers. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know. I didn't see that game. I wasn't able to watch the recap yet, but I'm going to. And I don't know how they put that many points on the Rollers, but they did. They did. And like you said, they're here. They're here to stay. They already signed up for the next tournament. That's great. You know, more A-man teams. That's great, man. It's good to see for the sport. But I don't know. I think we just had good matchups. You know, and you're going to have that sometimes where you have bad matchups and you have good matchups, and it ended up being in our favor on Saturday, or I should say on Sunday.
Championship game is the one you were waiting on. 16-7, probably about 4 minutes left, I believe. Probably a little under 2 at that point. Like, it was a 9-point game. Looked like the Lions had. I thought it was over myself. I saw the score. Seemed like it was getting to the end. So I stopped listening. I thought, okay, Lions got it. About an hour later is when I heard the word. What went through your mind from the go-ahead touchdown to make it 16-14 until that game-winning kick sailed through the uprights?
I'm going to go back to 16-7. They had the ball because they blocked one of my punts earlier, and they only got a field goal from that possession. They were at the 5-yard line. So our defense played extremely well that game. I think we had 3 stops. We stopped them on 4 downs to kick the field goal at the 5-yard line. We stopped them when they had the ball up 16-7, and then we stopped them right at the beginning of the game. And then, we threw a pick six, which is, it's unfortunate. And, people make errors and it happens. But we rallied. And it was 16-7. They had the ball. And me just being me, playing in the, the arena game and playing, being in training camps and stuff like that, you always stay ready. You know what I mean? That's just something that you do as a kicker. And you want to always make sure you're a professional at the same time. You never give up. You know what I mean? We've seen crazier shit happen because I think I was with Main Event, was it two years ago at Nationals, and we were playing the Bulldogs. So I was on the other side of the field, and we were down 13 points with, I think, 3 minutes left. We scored a touchdown, 2-minute warning. I kick the onside kick. They get to the 18. We pull the flag. We get the ball back. We score another touchdown when time expires, and I kick the game-winning extra point. It happens. So we're down 16-7.
Wow. That was a wild game.
Yes. Once we made that stop, when I think it was 4th down and like 15 or something, our defense stopped him again. We got the ball back. Rob made one, it was a pass, and we got like 20 or 30 yards, I think, off of it. And I was like, let's go. So I went over to that little soccer net over there, and I started, I just kept warm, stayed warm, make sure if they needed me, they needed me. And let alone we scored that touchdown, hit the extra point, 2-minute warning came around. And I really thought we were going to go for the kick. People don't realize this. That wind was fucking brutal. That wind, not only was it a headwind, it was a cross headwind. So it's coming at you diagonally. It's not just coming at you straight on, which is a lot easier to kick into.
Yeah.
This was going right to left and coming at you. You don't see that unless you're there on the field. So, having it on film it's a lot different than actually being there and kicking into it.
Yeah.
So I knew, pregame I was hitting 65 plus going into it or going with it. And then into it, I was about, 40 to 45 yards. So I knew we had to get somewhere, relatively by the 30-yard line for us to, for me to be like, yeah, we're going to win this game. And we got to actually pass that. Made a couple good plays. We made some good throws, had some good catches, some good runs, strung a good drive together. And I think the turning point really was when we made that first 4th and 20? You got to get 20 yards to get the onside kick.
Yeah.
Is it Corey Webb?
I didn't watch the game. You got to verify on it.
I believe it was Corey made. I don't know how he got so wide open, but he just ran. I think he ran like a post corner with like a comeback, and he was wide open. And Rob got him the ball. It was a great pass, great route. And we got it. And that's when I knew. I was like, I think I'm gonna get a chance to win this game for us. And when it came down to it, I don't even remember what yard line we were on. But I just went out there. You go through your same routine. It's the same kick. It's just a different time of the game. That's really what you got to think about. And being in the pros is a lot different, just because the way that you hold the ball a certain way with the wind coming at you, with you. Whether it's tilted to the right, a little bit forward, you can't really, expect that, in flag football. So you just kind of have to, roll with the punches. But we had a good snap, good hold. And, the kick was a bomb, actually. I think that would have been good for at least 40, 45 yards in the wind. So it felt good. It felt good to come in there. Obviously I was asked to play with the Bulldogs, and, if Main Event's not in the tournament, of course I'm going to say yes, because I love playing football, and I love being the best kicker out there. And, my work ethic speaks for itself. And that's what I continue to do on a daily basis. And training camps, I think 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from tomorrow for the Albany Empire. I just signed a contract. So, I'm just getting rolling with things right now and just getting into shape and having these couple tournaments. I think we got Richmond this weekend, and then training camp after that. So it's just great timing. And, I appreciate the Bulldogs for inviting me on. I had a great time.
It's awesome when you get a chance to just guest star on a team and you happen to be the one to help them win it.
Of course. And that's what, that's why they asked me to play. They know what I'm about. They know what I bring to the table. And, you know, I just, I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate the, you know, people, you know, giving me calls, wanting me to play and stuff. And I love that because I love playing. And it just goes to show you that, you know, I love doing what I'm doing, and I put a lot of work into my craft. And, you know, it's football, man. It's football, and I love it.
He never misses, is what Jerome said to me at that Nationals game 2 years ago when an extra point was pending.
Yeah, that's right. See, the thing with we were in Vegas, I believe, for the 8-man when we won the West Coast Nationals in October. And I think I had 3 kicks that were blocked, and they still went in. They were extra points. They were blocked. Still went in. And
I had to believe in that.
I mean, it's nerve-wracking because, you know, kicks.
Yeah, I'm telling you, placement on that ball when Butte was like, "Do not kick this son of a bitch into the water," and he stuck that thing in that street.
We did. Speaking of that, we did lose 2 balls, though. We did lose a couple balls.
He was like, "Yeah, I've already lost too many. He can't kick this one into the water."
You know, I was wondering if that was going to be a scenario to occur this weekend, someone nailing it right into the water.
Yeah.
Well, I did. You know what? Here's the thing, and I don't know who the guy is, but I went up and I talked to the owner. He had a big, you know, Miami Hurricanes jacket on or whatever.
Andy.
Yeah. He's a dick. That guy's a dick. That guy is I asked him, I'm like, hey, listen, we lost 2 balls already, $100 balls, right? I said, do you think that we can just, since you don't have a net put up, we're not even kicking on uprights, we're kicking over goalposts, some soccer goalposts. Do you think that we can change the field as long as the other team is okay with it? That would be fair, right? If the other team's okay with us kicking on their side so we don't lose 1,000 footballs, by all means, I would have said yes as an owner of the tournament. He goes, I've been doing this for 17 years. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He's like, don't kick it as hard. I'm like, that is the most ignorant thing you can possibly say. Don't kick it as hard. Are you serious, dude? Don't kick it as hard. Okay. Like, come on, man. And I was just like, you know what? It's a waste of my time at this point. But he was just so rude about it. Like he wasn't even like, you know what? You talk to the other team. We don't have nets up. Because then I was like, are you paying for the footballs that we lose? Because you don't have a net up. You don't even have like uprights. Like, what do you want us to do? And just for him to say that, I was like, oh my God. Honestly, that fueled me more that turn. I was like, I'm never missing now. Like this is over. It's a wrap. I was a little livid about that, but you know, people are going to have their ways and they're going to want to do what they want to do. And I'm sure you guys noticed the field situation as well, right? We had the championship game on that trash field. Someone could have torn their ACL playing on that stuff. Like that, it's not good. It wasn't good. We were like, no, we should play on the other one. We had Butte, and I think whoever the Lions coach or captain was got together. We're like, hey, we should play on the other field. Like we shouldn't be playing on this field for the championship game for 9-man A division. Like this is ridiculous. And the guy was like, he was kind of a dick to them, you know. And it's just, I don't know. He just needed to be a little bit more professional, I think, about the whole situation in general. It might have been a learning experience for him, you know. So we'll see how it goes in next year at Ocean City, but you know, you never know. Hopefully he can get something together and make the conditions a little bit better, but you know, there's still football either way. So I'm not mad. Hey, listen, we won. You know, I was blessed enough to be able to put in a position to kick the game-winning field goal, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy to bring the Bulldogs another championship.
Is this your first one for winning Ocean City?
It is actually. I was thinking about it when I was driving there. I'm like, have I ever been to Ocean City? Because I've been to Baltimore. We played over at when the Brigade was, you know, when the Arena Football League was still intact, and I was with the Columbus Destroyers and the Tampa Bay Storm. We played over at, was it Royal Farms Arena or something like that? The
Royal Farms Arena is the Baltimore one.
Yeah.
Been there a bunch of times, played there, but I don't think I've ever actually driven out to Ocean City. That was my first time there. It's actually kind of nice if you think about it. Just that, the ocean's right there. Obviously, that's why it was so windy. But it's a nice little area. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that bad. That was my first time. I'm on a streak right now. Actually, I'm on I think I'm on a 4-tournament streak. The last 4 tournaments I've played in, we won. So got to keep it going in Richmond. We got to go for the Fab Five here.
Go for it, man. Hey, I got to give it to you. All you do is win when you're out there on the circuit. And this past weekend, you got the big win. You got the big kick. You got the game winner. You got Strong Island Bulldogs, the championship. You got an Ocean City ring. Got to give credit to you, dude. You put in the work, whether it's indoor, outdoor, pads, flags. There is no doubt you are the best kicker in the country. No disrespect to Kyle Marshall, our kicker.
I'll take Kyle too, but Craig got to be the best one. He's got to be.
No, there are. I mean, there's some solid kickers in IMAN. There really is in the A division, and I think the Punisher's got a pretty decent kicker. The Lions got a pretty decent kicker. I didn't know who. I just met him. I actually talked to him at halftime. The Lions kicker, he was different though. I never seen him before. It's usually one of the twins or the brothers or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't catch his name or anything either.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy. Didn't have the strongest leg, but he seemed like a reliable kicker for the most part. And
I just felt bad for him. He always had to go get his own ball. That's like the most disrespectful. I feel like that's the most disrespectful thing you can do to a kicker. At least send somebody on the sideline to go catch the damn ball for them. Like for you, Butte was back there. The owner of the team was back there catching your ball.
Yeah.
Embiid, whatever.
I mean, we can't say anything. We can't say anything because we made.
We can't back there and get the ball for the kicker.
We can't say anything because, like Summer Sizzler, we had it where Kyle kicked that field goal into that brush over in Shippensburg. Ross, you remember that? Let's put it like this. It was basically the ball went into a bunch of trees in the forest, and it was nothing but broken branches everywhere. So we sent our kicker to go get the ball, and by the time he had found the ball and got back up on the field, we had already scored another touchdown, and it was time for him to kick the extra point again.
Yeah, I remember that because it was my ass out there helping them trying to find that ball.
Y'all took about 10 to 15 minutes to find it in that brush. I'm glad they cut that stuff out.
It was in the thicket. It was in the thicket. We found it.
I think that's actually I stopped going to get them because I used to go and get them, and it happened enough times where I would kick it so far, whether it's the woods or just another field. And then I'd have to go get it. And then by the time I come back, we're hit with a penalty because we took too long for the kickoff.
Yeah.
So really we learned from that. And then, either Elliot or someone else on the team would already be back there and they could just throw it back so we don't take too much.
Go find 3 kids on the sideline and be like, line up. You put
That's shit.
Yeah. I really do. I remember telling the Punishers down in Nationals. Damn it, I'm drawing a blank on his name. It's one of their best receivers. He's been there for a while. He always went back to get the ball for the kicker. He would literally score a touchdown, throw that ball back, and then walk immediately past the field goal post to go catch the ball for the kicker. Get the kicker ball. Because exactly what you said, especially in the A division, you guys have to kick off.
Yep.
And you only get a minute, even though sometimes it feels like 5 minutes.
Right. But when you're getting the ball, you're taking your time. You're not even thinking about that, and you're kind of lollying back to the line, and you're like, "Holy shit, I got 10 seconds left."
Yeah.
So, but I actually wanted to talk about that real quick with the new rule. Is that an AFFL rule?
So a forfeit 20, for what I hear, is an AFFL rule. It started last year in our league, actually, me and Ross's local league. The guy you mentioned, Andy, he's our commissioner over in our league.
Okay.
And during a meeting, one of the captains, I believe it was Regan of Misfits, suggested to implement that as an option. Because, around here, there's not many kickers. It's hard to really pick from in our area. We only really got about 3 or 4, give or take, who play that position on a consistent basis.
Right.
And so we said, why don't we have an option of a 4th and 20 just to make it interesting and see what it adds to it. It was applied twice last year. Once was in a league game we had against a team in our league. It wasn't converted then. The other time was in our Turkey Bowl we had, our Thanksgiving Day flag game we did up here. They actually converted that for a 80-yard touchdown reception. The receiver caught it across the middle and ran it. We brought it up to Andy last week because it was used very infamously in KFFL last week or a few weeks ago when a team converted and the other team petitioned saying, well, when has this ever been a thing?
Okay.
So it's kind of started as sort of a local thing in our area, the 4-state. And I said to Andy, is it possible we could see it in Ocean City? And, he wanted to test the waters, see how teams liked it. And I think there was some confusion. I think the referees thought that was the only choice. But when we had talked about it on the show last week, it was supposed to be something where you had an option of a forfeit.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's always been optional. Definitely here in county, where Andy brought it up, we voted on it as captains, and it was an option. It's an interesting option. It kind of it has its pluses and its minuses, but you still have the option of doing the true onside kick too, which also has its pluses and its minuses. So if you don't have a kicker, why would you try to kick? Because you have to kick it past the 20-yard line.
And it's not even just past the 20. You can't go into the end zone either. You have to manage to find, you got to get it in a certain space. You got to keep it from going out of bounds, because if it goes out of bounds, it's a penalty on you.
Right.
Sometimes you got to hope somebody muffs it, which can happen very easily too.
Yeah.
I do feel like for kickoffs, that's something where on a higher level of 9-man, kickoffs, kicking, that's a big deal. When you get to the B level, on the top teams, you'll see it. You'll see the kicking game and aspect. But as you go lower and lower into the B, it gets harder to find somebody who can kick like that because the talent pool is so limited.
Right.
You yourself know the high-end kickers, you guys are going to go to a main event or a Strong Island.
Right. Not the kicking aspect. You also have B teams that can only manage to bring, it's 9-man that can only bring 15. You know what I mean? Like you're wearing your guys out.
I get that.
So like, they both have their pluses and their minuses. If it's optional, I don't see any problem with it.
No, I don't either. Being a kicker, I really don't. I don't see an issue with it because let's say both teams have great kickers, right? But you got a situation where you're working with the winds.
Right.
In that kind of condition, I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I bomb a kickoff going into that wind, because that's the way we were going. We were going into the wind that fourth quarter. Dude, I don't know, man. It may have had like a 5-second hang time because just eat it, but it would just sit there. But I don't know if that's going way past the 20. It's definitely not going out of the back of the end zone. That's for sure.
Depending on where you put that damn thing could almost boomerang right back towards you.
Right.
The way that wind was rolling.
In a situation like that, the option is there. I would like the option to be there. That's why when they said, "Oh, we're going to do this thing," I didn't even know what was going on. To be honest, I was like 4th and 20. What's going on? So, the more I thought about it, someone did that in Vegas to us, where they tried to do the YB4L, I believe the team was called, and they tried to do that and they just didn't get it. But that was when I first realized that you could do that. But I didn't even think about that when we were doing it. I was like, oh shit, it's a 4th and 20 situation. We get literally one play to gain 20 yards. So, and then like Joey was saying earlier, guy ran it back. 80 yards. They didn't pull his flags. He was able to return it the whole way and got a touchdown. So,
and the crazy thing is,
I like
that on an 8-yard slant route. Like, it was a quick 8-yard slant across that middle. He had 4 defenders in front of him, and all 4 missed. And it's just, to me, I think that adds an element of excitement to the game, because I feel like from a defensive back position, the really elite DBs will know what to do. But a lot of corners, they might overthink it, because they know that they got to get 20, but there's many ways to get 20. You don't have to get 20 on the first catch.
That's what I'll say. That's the
got to make someone miss.
Almost run a prevent defense. Line everybody up with that 20-yard line they have to go to. Do not pass this line. I mean, honestly, line every nine guy you have right up at that line.
That's a 40. That's
do not move.
I like that.
I coach.
If you do that, you can't miss the flag.
Line them all up. If you can block, if you have no holes in that 20-yard line, okay, put them at the 18 and tell them do not move unless the guy with the ball is coming near you and has flags.
Honestly, I'd love
to work every time.
Pull that off. I would love to see that.
That would be wild, wouldn't it? That would be some odd shit.
That would be crazy.
I did that in Madden once. I dropped all 11 players back on a Hail Mary, and we were all literally running to the end zone before the play started.
I don't think there's any rules that says your defense has to be lined up in a certain way.
As long as you're not over the line of scrimmage, I do believe you are good.
I think that's the only rule. I'm just
I liked it. I definitely like the aspect of it, such as the situation on Sunday. Honestly, it's good for the game. It's good. It's good for the game because you could still go for the kick. If you got a good kicker, then by all means, do it that way. Yeah. And if you don't, then you have the option to stay in the game.
That kind of goes back to what he was saying. Kyle Marshall, who's on the Warriors, is the best kicker around here. Tim Miller is also great, but I give the edge to Kyle Marshall only because I think he's plays on my team. But when it first got brought up here in Washington County, I was kind of against it because I have a good kicker. I know I have a good kicker. What do I need this option for? But the more I think about it and the more the other teams kind of commented on it, I'm like, as long as it's optional, you still have both options.
Right.
Take your option of whatever, but you still have the best option for your team. It gives you the best option for your team of what you should know what your team can and can't do. If you don't have a kicker, your better options to go 4th and 20 and try to make something happen there. Because all possibilities are there. Like I said, you can have a defense that lines up literally just tries like Ducks formation, Mighty Ducks, V formation. Let's just put this whole thing up and go straight after the ball carrier. There's possibilities there. So I like the option of both personally.
Here's the thing. I'll play devil's advocate real quick. What if I'm on the other team, right?
Right.
And we got a good kicker and you don't have a kicker.
Yep.
And you want to go for the 4th and 20 and we're like, then you should have brought a kicker then.
Right.
Right. Yep. So now we're like, no, I don't want to do this because, we brought a kicker and you didn't. And now you want to do, this rule where, it shouldn't be an option.
Right.
Because you just don't have a kicker.
Right.
It can work both ways.
That's kind of my mindset when it first got brought up here in county. I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I was like, I don't know about that one. And everybody sitting in the room was like, that's only because you're the one with the kicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
Sometimes though, you go back to years ago, you couldn't with that onside kick, the regular rule, you might be able to find a kicker by just trying anybody out.
That's also
an opportunity because I go back to the story you told years ago with Brock, your D lineman Ross. He ended up getting it into the 17-yard line.
Yep.
And
we were like, oh, this never worked. And Brock was like, I got this. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, I got it. He's like, I got to take it past the 20, essentially, right? Everybody else has to do their job. And I'm like, you're right. And he's like, I got it. And I was like, all right, we're going to do it then. Let's try. That was the first time we even heard about the way onside kicks work for 9-man. We didn't even think onside kicks were a thing. I remember back in that day.
Some people actually, I think, because we've seen it before too, where guys who don't realize the rule is there, they won't try it. Or in other cases, I think my favorite was a couple of years ago when Don refused to do it because, quote unquote, we don't have a kicker.
Yeah,
so the other team had a first and 5 to 35, and and it's like, just try anybody.
Yeah,
anybody is better than nobody.
I remember me and looking at him and be like, dude, you got the same thing Brock did. Brock was like, I got it. We thought the same thing. We didn't have a kicker, and Brock kicked for us, and I'll probably send some videos of Brock kicking to Craig later. He's like, how the hell did this guy ever kick a ball the way he did?
Yo, Brock was a straight line kicker too. He kicked the old school 1970s way of just
boom,
3 steps up and kick. That's how you do it.
Up right there.
Oh man. Let's see. Anything else you want to add in tonight, Craig?
No, just looking forward to Richmond, going out there competing. And then unfortunately I probably won't be able to be in AC, which sucks because I do love that tournament. I think we won that twice, I believe. 2 out of 3 times I've been to AC. We
defending champions of AC main event.
What's that?
Defending champions.
Yeah, yep. And then we won it my first year too, playing with main event in AC. That was when I actually got kicked out. I don't know if you guys knew about that. I got some guy, I had training camp coming up, and because remember, AC is usually in March.
Yeah.
Right? Usually the end of March, I think.
Yeah, it's mid-March, St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Okay, so yeah, so I had training camp coming up the end of March, early April, and some dude, this guy, I forget what team he played, I can't remember, but he came at my legs once on an extra point, and he almost took me out. So I was like, dude, you gotta chill out, bro. Like, chill the fuck out. Like, I got camp coming up. Like, I'm just here having fun. It was my first tournament in AC, and it was only, I think, my 3rd tournament in general, just playing. So he does it again, and it's the finals, by the way. And he does it again, and I made it. And he literally hit me. I went down, and my ankle, it was fine, but it hurt a little bit. But I'm like, it was what it was. It wasn't like a LeBron James like high ankle sprain or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, fuck you. And I just got on top of him, and I just hit him a couple times, and then the guys, got me off of him or whatever. And then, the ref obviously kicked me out, and I couldn't play anymore the rest of that tournament. So, I mean, I think it was the second half. I'm not 100% sure, but we still ended up winning, which was nice.
Yeah.
But after that, oh man, they know to block now. They know to block, and it's serious back there. If you're making your kicks, you got to block. You got a good kicker, just block. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science. You got numbers. It's the same thing with the Arena League. I get so mad if it gets blocked because we're up 2 guys. It's 4 rushing 6. Come on. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're acting like quarterbacks now.
Yeah. We have film. You watch film, dude, all the time. It's like the film never lies, dude.
Yep.
The eye in the sky don't lie. So, you just got to hold people accountable and, make sure people are blocking and doing their assignments, and everyone's happy. But they know that now. I think another thing that I like about just how this is all one big fraternity is I think guys, now that they just know kind of who I am, and I am still obviously pursuing, football at the highest level. I think they just have that, I could be wrong. They just have that type of respect that they know, like I'm not going in there. They're going to go in and try and block it, but they're not going in to try and like hurt me anymore, I feel like. And it's just a matter of like, everyone likes the game. we play it, we respect each other, and that's it. You know, I like that. So I could be wrong, but that's just how I felt over the last couple of years of how it's been. But you know, people are still getting in, like that Vegas tournament, man. Like I said, 3 blocked kicks and they still went in. Another one was blocked and it didn't go in, but that's too many. It's too many. We gotta toughen up our line and not miss our assignments. That's the biggest thing. And I always go to James. I go, James, let me see that one. So he'll rewind. He'll be like, okay, hold on. He'll rewind it real quick and be like, oh, yeah, he missed his block. I go right to the film guy, bro. I go right to film because I'm pissed. You can lose. Listen, we played the Bulldogs in nationals this year, and we tied them. Right, the second night, I believe it was, or the first night. I don't remember.
First night, yeah.
First night, we ended up tying. Why did we tie? We fucking got an extra point blocked. That should never happen. We would have won the game easily won the game by 1 point. Done. Over. Things like that, man. Look at how we just won.
Yeah.
We blocked that extra point, and I kick a field goal to win the game instead of tying it. So I'm telling you, you know, Cellini is the god at letting me know that the kicker is the second most important position in flag football in 9-man, and he's right. And in 8-man, I feel like you're tied with the quarterback because now you can go for 2 points instead of 1 for the extra point. That's huge. I think we had 16 touchdowns in Vegas, and I think we had 2 returns, and 1 was on purpose because we tried to go for the onside kick. So that we had 1 return. The rest were out of the back of the end zone. Literally, the return game was non-existent in Vegas. Like nobody returned the ball on us. And that's good for us too, because then our guys get to rest. You know, they're not wasting that energy on the kickoffs. It's a big part of the game, man. I think kicking is so underrated. It's just, you know, I'm fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, being one of those kickers and being able to make a difference in the games. I think that's why I love it so much. And I keep coming back. You know, that's why I keep coming back, because it's so valuable in 9-man and now 8-man too. You know, it's just it's fun, and like I said, we're valuable, so it just makes it that much better.
I gotta say, it makes a difference. It really does, and we saw this past weekend the difference it made for the Strong Island Bulldogs with Craig Peterson getting the game-winning field goal against the Lions. Big shout out to you, Craig, on a big stage once again, making the game winner.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on too. Seriously.
We appreciate you, man. We'll see you on the circuit, I imagine, sometime later in the summer, of course. You'll be at Richmond this weekend. Best of luck there. Hopefully somebody's live down there.
I'm sure we'll have someone down there.
We shall see. Looking forward. Looking forward as well. Seeing you, you said arena ball coming up as well. Training camp, flag football, life of a kicker. It's great.
Crazy, man. It's crazy life.
All right, Craig. Anything else you want to add tonight?
No, just the fact that, you know, I appreciate you guys having me on here. Ross, shout out to you. Thank you. And Joey, as usual, I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. And we're going to get ready and sign off for tonight. We still got about a few more shows later in the week. Tomorrow night, Ross Collins and I will be talking inside the OMFFL. We'll take a look at the upcoming league games, as well as we're going to do a bit of a B bracket recap tomorrow night with that. It's been fun talking A tonight with Jerome, Jamie, Ross, and Craig. For all of us here at Team Blunt Talk, we say good night. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode.